Hello and welcome in. This is the 378th episode of the Dean Withers Show. For everybody who's joining us, I really appreciate you so very much for being here. We have so much to go over today. If you've never been here before, let me quickly tell you what we do. We talk to Trump supporters and we try to change their minds because Donald Trump is the worst president of our lives. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, it is really a solidified fact. We saw him yesterday threaten genocide on a nation of 90 million people. I just don't understand how there's still so many Americans that support Trump. But of course, we're going to be talking to them and trying to change their minds. I also like to keep you guys up to date with the news. That means going over the breaking news every day. The breaking news of today is that Trump's quote-unquote ceasefire in Iran is already falling through, folks. So Israel has not stopped the bombing on Lebanon. Now, in response to that, Iran is saying that Lebanon is a part of the ceasefire. They're not supposed to be engaging in the war, regardless if it's missiles directed at Iran or Lebanon. And for that reason, Iran has now reclosed the Strait of Hormuz until they stop bombing Lebanon. Now, we haven't quite heard a definite word back from the White House, from DC, from the military, or from Iran on this. And it kind of just looks like this ceasefire agreement is hanging on a thread right now. So I'm sure that we'll continue to get some updates on this by the end of the day. We'll know to a little bit of a higher degree exactly what's going on and what the outcome of this will be. But, you know, praying for the Middle East, praying for the innocent Iranians who Donald Trump threatened to genocide yesterday. And this is a catastrophe. This is an absolute catastrophe, ladies and gentlemen. As well as Nick, it is a pleasure to see you today. Thank you so much for the Leon the Kin. Thank you so much. Now, guys, we're going to go ahead and hop into the debates. Hop inside of the queue if you happen to be an American adult that supports Donald J. Trump as president. I have my kitty Momo sitting on my lap with me right now. And I love Momo so very much, but she does give me a lot of allergies, so there's probably going to be a couple points throughout the stream today where I will intermittently just kind of put myself off camera and unplug my mic to blow my nose. Let's go ahead and try to get that very first guest loaded up into the box. Only hop inside of the queue if you are following our rules. You know what our rules are if you're on TikTok because you could see them in the middle of your phone screen. You just have to be 18 plus, American and MAGA. If you break the rules, you will be getting a very, very fast ban. And if you're inside of the queue in violation of the rules at all, you are risking an account ban. But at this point in time, let's go to try to get that very first guest, Cooper, loaded up into the box. Hello, Cooper. Do you support Trump?
I'm very on the fence.
Okay, well, I can barely hear you, man, so I'm going to go ahead and move on, but I hope that you have a good rest of your day. We're going to go to get that next guest, Mike, loaded up into the box right now. Hello, Mike. Do you support Trump?
I don't.
Okay, then please stay out of that queue, Mike. I'm going to go ahead and ban you for breaking the third rule. Let's go ahead and try to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. Okay, yeah, so by the way, my mods have already been able to effectively ban one person from the queue because in their bio they say they're 16 years old. So this is just to repeat, guys, that if you break our rules, my League of Moderators is going to get ya. They're going to be scanning your accounts, all of your public information that's on your accounts, posts, reposts, comments, username, bio, profile picture, so on and so forth. If we determine that you're under the age of 18, not an American, or not a MAGA, you will be catching a ban. And quote-unquote Americano already did catch a ban. He joined the queue as a minor. So let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now, folks. I'm already dying.
Come over here.
Jason, what's up? Do you support Trump?
Can you hear me?
I can. Hello?
Yo, yeah, what's up, bro?
Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I do.
How old are you?
18.
What year were you born?
November 2007.
Okay, why do you support Trump? Go ahead, take it away. Why do you support Trump?
Why do I support Trump?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm Republican. I don't like gays. And yeah, Trump 2028.
Did he run away while I was blowing my nose? So Jason, this is a debate live. I mean, like, clearly I don't think that you're going to be fit for a debate because you probably have 3 brain cells. But, feel free to, suggest otherwise by rejoining the queue. I mean, man, you're more than welcome. Dude, why do people choose to embarrass themselves like that? Why do people choose to come up here, say some terrible shit, and then just turn around and leave knowing that this is a debate live? Because it just makes it known to everybody that even they know if they were to stay on the stream, they'd get their intellectual capacities, checked. and that wouldn't be too good for them. So no clue why they embarrass themselves like that. What's going on, Robo Rainbow? Do you support Trump?
Yeah,
How old are you?
23.
Okay. Yisha, do you support Trump?
I'm sorry, I accidentally.
No worries, Yisha. Robo, so why do you support Trump?
Because he's a Freemason and a Jew.
Okay, I'm going to go and just assume that you're trolling and move on to the next guest. We got the next guest, Hannah, loading up into the box right now. Momo, you know I love you, but I'm going to take you off the table. Oh, there you go, Momo. What's up, Hannah? Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
What year are you born in?
Well, I'm almost 19, but I was born in 2007.
Okay, what month?
I was born in April. My birthday is on April 20th.
Okay, and what time is it?
It depends, like, what state, like, because, you know, I'm from Miami, Florida. It's 1 p.m. here.
What's the capital of Florida?
Miami.
No, it's not. We're going to move on to the next guest. Aaron here, you guys. Let's go to get the next guest loaded up into the box right now. Hello, do you support Trump?
Hello?
Hi, are you MAGA?
Yeah.
Okay, are you driving?
Yep.
Okay, like you're actively driving the car right now?
Hold on. Hold on, buddy.
I'm going to kick you because you can't drive on TikTok.
I'm not driving. I'm parked.
Okay, that's what I thought because I didn't hear any road noise. Could you please pause the music? There you go. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
All right, perfect.
Can you hear it still?
Yeah. So why do you support the very worst president of your life, Mr. Trump?
I'm gonna hold on.
Dude, there's so much going on.
Is it better now? Is it better now?
Yeah. So why do you support the very worst president
sorry
of your
about
life, Mr. Trump?
I have a question. Do you have any kids?
No.
Do you plan on having kids? Is
Maybe
that
one
something
day.
you wanna do? You're with someone, right? Like dating someone?
Yeah, I have a girlfriend. These are all very like personal questions. I don't understand how they're relevant to the debate.
Do you guys plan on having kids any day? Like one day? Is that something you guys ever talked about?
I mean, it's something that we might do one day if we get married. What is the relevance?
It involves parenting. So do you think you'll end up being like an authoritarian parent? Or like would you have
I think I'll end up being a good parent. Now tell me why
So,
you support
like,
Trump.
well, this involves supporting Trump.
Okay, well, we're not here to debate different parenting styles.
Well, I guess this was my entrance into the argument. But if you don't wanna go that route, then I can just let you go, buddy.
Well, I mean, if you want to land the plane, feel free.
No, it's more interesting of a conversation the more in depth I get with it. So, I'll let you go, buddy.
Okay, so you're just gonna run away?
Yeah.
Okay, before you leave, can I ask you one question?
No, I don't support Trump, man. I was just trying to get a conversation going.
Okay, then leave. Yeah, fucking banned. Moving on to the next guest. I don't understand why there's some of you guys that are just refusing to follow my rules. I have boundaries for a reason, and I wish that you would respect them. If you don't like my boundaries, you know, I just recommend scrolling, right? Go find a live that upholds boundaries that you do like. If you don't like this live's boundaries, it's fine. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
I'm like 50-50. I just want to like ask, like, do you think Trump's done anything ever that's been okay?
I mean, we're not here to talk about the 0.5% of things that he's done that are okay. We're here to talk about the 99.5% of things that he's done that have been absolutely atrocious and why they should make you stop supporting Trump as president. But when you say that you're 50-50, let me ask you a question. Knowing everything that you know now, if the election was held tomorrow between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, who would you vote for if you would vote at all?
I would vote Kamala Harris because based off what Trump's done, I don't like it. But like, it's also like, I don't know.
Perfect, man. Well, we're looking for people that answer Trump to that question. So we are going to be moving on to our next guest, Lucas T14. We're going to be moving on to our next guest, Lucas. Hi, do you support Trump?
Yeah, dude.
All right, we're going to go to Bad You, Lucas. Guys, how about you let me know down below in that chat if you happen to be a Trump supporter. We're really doing our best to try to find anybody and everybody that will hopefully be following the rules inside of that queue. But it doesn't really look like the people inside of the queue care about the rules at all. So we're just going to start banning people. But I am trying my best here, folks, to try to find absolutely anybody who could come up here and give us a debate. I think that there's just simply not too many Trump supporters left. Now, my mods have identified another non-Trump supporter inside of the queue. Mike, you are banned. Same thing with you, Tyler. You are also banned, and Kylie, you are also banned. I just got sent 3 names from my moderators of people that they banned because they joined the queue in violation of the rules. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yeah,
How old are you?
51.
Okay, your mic is a little bit rough, but why do you support Trump?
I just like ice.
Okay, can you please disconnect any Bluetooth microphone that you have connected to your device?
Yeah, sure.
Give him a moment here, folks.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you much better now. So you said that it's because you like ice?
Yeah.
Okay. What year are you born in, out of curiosity?
I was born in 75.
Well, that's the right math. What's a popular song from the 90s?
My favorite song, or
Yeah, just your favorite song from the 90s, a popular song
my
from the
favorite
90s?
song is "The Winner Takes It All."
Okay, I just feel like this person is like making their voice deeper, but they answered those questions right, so I don't know. Let's see if he's lying based upon the follow debate. So you said that you like ice.
Yeah.
Oh, what an embarrassment. We shouldn't like ICE because they uphold reckless disregard for the law and reckless disregard for life. You shouldn't like anybody or anything that upholds reckless disregard for law and life.
You should tell Rennie that.
Tell Renee that? Renee Good?
Oh yeah.
Well, I can't tell Renee that because she was killed, executed in broad daylight, just like Alex Preddy, just like Keith Porter.
Well, she should have done that.
Okay, so she deserved to get shot and killed. So what did she do that warranted the officer to kill her?
You gotta let ICE do the job. It's that simple.
Okay, yes. So I would assume that what you mean by you have to let ICE do their job is arguing that she didn't let ICE do their job and obstructed upon their official duties. But see, obstruction doesn't warrant the death penalty. In fact, the legal standard for authorizing an LEO to shoot and kill somebody would be the fact that that somebody has to purport an imminent threat upon their life or the life of anybody else within the immediate vicinity. And merely obstructing upon an LEO's official duties is not an imminent threat to their life. So try again.
Can we agree that running people over is not okay?
We can agree that running people over is not okay.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Oh, so the accusation is that Renee Good ran somebody over.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, that accusation would be false. So, I mean, not only do we have the 3-angle view-over of the incident done by the New York Times, available very publicly on the internet, that clearly demonstrates that by the time the officer fired his first round, he was to the left of the vehicle path. But then we also have the coroner's report that demonstrates it was the 3rd shot that killed Renee Good. And by the 3rd shot, he was literally just chasing down her car, firing through her window while she was driving away from him. So, yeah, even an assumption of your view here that while the imminent threat was her running him over, we actually know that wasn't the imminent threat because by the time he shot his first shot or the 3rd lethal shot that killed her, he was out of the path of the vehicle and actively chasing the vehicle down.
You don't realize he was hospitalized.
Well, he actually was hospitalized for a bruise. A bruise that was likely self-inflicted because he actually lunged towards the front of the vehicle to then stabilize his arm in accordance with a firing path directed towards her head. But this fact does not change anything that I just said.
Well, he had internal bleeding.
So he actually didn't, as far as I'm aware, unless once again that internal bleeding was a bruise. Because technically a bruise would be internal bleeding.
Well, fact is, he had life-changing injuries. That's all that matters.
Okay, well, that's not what matters. What matters is that Renee Good would have had to have reported an imminent threat to his life, which she didn't. And by the time he killed her, he was completely out of the path of the vehicle and actively chasing it down.
Look, the video says otherwise, but okay.
I think that this is a troll. I think that you're doing this. So we're gonna go to kick you and move on to the next guest because that guy's obviously a troll. Only up inside of that queue if you happen to be a Trump supporter, folks. I don't know what's going on this morning. I tried my very best to find a Trump supporter to bring up here for a debate, and we're just simply not finding any, guys. There are just simply no Trump supporters left, which honestly, I'm happy about. That's awesome. Hell yeah, that's so cool. I'm so happy that there's not too many Trump supporters left because he's truly like the worst president ever. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yeah. No, I do not.
Okay, then please stay out of the queue. I'm going to go ahead and kick you. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and ban you. Guys, if you join the queue in violation of the rules, then you will get banned. That's it. If you break the rules, you're cooked. So if you want to know what the rules are, they're in the middle of your phone screen. Super duper easy to see and to follow. You just have to be 18 plus American and MAGA. Those are the requirements to join the queue, so please do follow them. They're beyond easy. They're very, very easy to follow. Very, very, very easy to follow.
My fault. I didn't mean to join.
Okay, take care. Moving on to the next guest. Chance Norman is loading up into the box right now. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. Only up inside of that queue if you're MAGA, as I've said about 1 billion times. We got the next guest, Chance, loading into the box, and it looks like Chance is actually automatically turning around and leaving. So Chance, you are going to get a ban. Let's go to move on to the next guest right now. We got Sophia loading up into the queue. Hi, do you support Trump? One singular person in the chat said, Dean, you're rude. Feel free to scroll. I am absolutely indifferent to your opinion on the imposition of rules in this live. I would assume that this is likely your first time watching. What you don't see is a year of debates where we will have days where I don't enforce the rules, and then we waste 2 to 3 hours of the 4-hour live stream on people who don't support Trump breaking the rules, and then me asking them politely not to. Then they do it again.
Dean, let me talk, bro.
Hello, do you support Trump?
Bro, you're a good boy. You're a good little boy.
It's a very odd comment.
Good little Jewish boy. All right, you're a good boy.
Randomly calling people Jewish. I think that is kind of like a trait of people on the right. They like to do that to people they don't like because they're very anti-Semitic.
Bro,
do you mind if I ask you if you're a Trump supporter?
All right, bro. Listen,
I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to answer the question before I kick you. Are you a Trump supporter?
I remember in school I used to put you in lockers, bro. I used to jiggle your butt and put you in lockers, bro.
All right, buddy. Well, we're going to go ahead and kick out the moron and move on to the next guest. You got to be a Trump supporter to join. It's pretty clear. This is a debate live for Trump supporters. Let's go to get the next guest loaded up into the box right now. We got Hopi loading up in. You got to be 18 plus American and MAGA. The rules are very simple. We've been live for 20 minutes. Not one person has followed them, by the way. I don't think that there's any Trump supporters watching today. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
I used to be a Trump supporter.
But you're not anymore? You are breaking our third rule. That third rule is literally in the middle of your phone screen. It is right there in front of your eyes. I really do appreciate you. I'm so grateful that you've stopped supporting Trump. But come on. They are in the
please play
middle of
Roblox
the phone
with
screen.
me. Please,
I
Roblox.
am going to ban
please.
you too for the same reason. Alright guys, we're gonna go to shut down the queue. Settings. Manage guests. How do I turn it off? There it is. Never mind, I can't turn it off on the computer. That's odd. Okay. Let me see if I could find a way here to turn the guest requests off so then we could just start fresh. I'm not finding a good way to do that. Yeah, I'm not finding a good way to do that. So we're just going to quickly take a moment here to go over the rules for everybody who's watching. I understand that technically every person can join the queue because that's the function of the guest request feature on TikTok. But this is not like a Hangout Live, okay? It's not a Roblox Live, contrary to that last guy. It's a debate live where I want to talk to people who disagree with me, specifically people who support Trump as president. Now, there are 3 rules that I am asking everybody to politely follow if you want to join the guest requests. You have to be 18 plus, you have to be American, and you have to be MAGA. Now, I have a league of moderators. They've been looking through the queue and banning people who don't fulfill those requirements by looking at your personal accounts, your posts, your reposts, so on and so forth. So I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and do that now. So, I mean, right now, here's me banning Fish Girl from the queue because she's a troll. Kinsey's bio says, fuck Trump, so we're going to go to ban Kinsey. Who else do we have here? Yeah, Brad's bio says he's 16, so we're going to go to ban Brad. Yeah, same thing with Jordan. Jordan looks like he's 14. And that process I just did by myself looking through the queue, identifying people that don't support Trump and banning them, is exactly what I have a league of moderators doing as well. So just follow the rules, you guys, please.
Go brush your fucking teeth, you gross fuck.
Okay, so this guy's mad. Definitely a Trump supporter. Let's ensure that he's over the age of 18. How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 21, bub.
What year were you born?
You're so fucking disgusting.
Okay, says the guy.
You deserve all these fucking trolls, you fucking disgusting fuck. I hope you fucking end your live.
You hope you end my live?
I hope you end your live because you're crashing out. You fucking, you're gross. Go brush your fucking teeth.
I would probably argue the person that's crashing out is the one that can't control their impulses to immediately start calling the other person disgusting just because they have political disagreement. Now, this will be
political
fun.
Disagreement about brushing teeth.
Now, tell us why do you think I'm so gross?
Because you have hella cavities, bub.
Oh, okay. Well, I would definitely argue that raping a woman is a bit grosser than having a cavity. And you happen to support a rapist as the most powerful man in the world. But let's go ahead and get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. That's the first Trump supporter of the day, you guys. And the first Trump supporter of the day, just came up here, crashed out, and got a ban from TikTok. That's about it. Like, guys, this is all they have. Like, I am begging and pleading MAGA to come up here and give an argument. They can't do it. So far, okay, in the last 24 minutes of the live stream, out of the 14,000 people that we have in the stream, MAGA has come up with one person. MAGA has come up with one person out of 14,000 who's willing to join the live stream as a Trump supporter. And then even that one person couldn't give an argument. They just crashed out, said I was gross. And now we have another Trump supporter screaming the N-word. This is the state of MAGA, you guys. Let's go ahead and try to get that next guest loaded up in here. Yeah, sorry you guys had to hear him scream the N-word. A lot of them say the N-word because a lot of them are super duper racist. Many Trump supporters are very racist. The glue of MAGA today is bigotry. So a lot of them, find their familiarity and similar support for Trump because of that, because of that likeness to his own bigotry, his own racism. There's a lot of very racist Trump supporters. So what a good reason not to be MAGA. Hi, do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
And how old are you?
I am 18 years old.
Okay, and what year were you born in?
I was born in 2007.
What month?
It was April. Coming up here soon, 21st.
For the galaxy. Oh, cool, man. Happy early birthday.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
Before I pass you the mic, I am going to go ahead and thank a couple people, and then you can tell us why you're MAGA. Deanime, I appreciate you so much for the $10 over on the chat. Super, thank you. Who says, yo, Dean, are you planning on having a live stream to chat a Q&A soon? Yes, Danny May. I do hope to do that soon. Thank you so much for the $10. Same thing to you, Bread. Thank you so much for the $10 as well. He says, I'm so glad that you're on early on my day off. Hell yes, this is the earliest we've been on for a long time. Same thing to Crystal. Thank you for the $20 donation over on the chat super. Let's get 200 Crystal W's. Crystal says, trans woman from Idaho here. Watched yesterday's VOD and couldn't help but comment on your first guest from yesterday. He was nuts. Oh my god, he was. I remember him. And then you, thank you for the 10 euros as well. He says you're the best debater. Thank you so much, you. And with that, we are actually all the way caught up over on the chat supers. I appreciate you guys so much for the love. Thank you guys so much for the support. We have a couple people to thank on Venmo here real quick. Natasha, thank you so much for the $20 donation. Let's get 200 Natasha W's down below, who says first time donor. Been watching for a year. 31 voted for the first time yesterday in Wisconsin. Thank you for inspiring me. Oh, you voted in Wisconsin special election? Based! I'm so proud of you. That is awesome, Natasha. Hell yes. Show some love to Natasha down below. I know that the Democrats won that special election. As well as Ramona, thank you for the $1, and Beth, thank you for the $3. How do you support Trump?
Yeah,
How old are you?
25. I'll be 26 next month. I was born in 2000, May 13th.
Do you work a full-time job?
No.
Do you live with your
I
parents?
just quit my job because I'm pregnant.
Okay, you quit a job. So how many hours a week did you work?
I don't know. I promise I'm not lying. It was an online job, and I didn't have like a set hours.
Okay, what did you work on average?
Maybe like 5 hours. Most of the time, I work 5 hours a day.
So 5 hours a day. How many days a week?
3.
Okay, is that full time?
No.
Okay. I don't know if she's lying. Can you please turn off the TV in the background?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm with my little sister.
No, this is a high schooler. You take care. Let's go to move on to the next guest right now. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA, you guys. Let's go to get the next guest connected to the live stream. You got to be 18 plus American and MAGA in order to stay in the stream. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Oh, what's up?
What's up, man? Are you MAGA?
Yeah, a little bit. Kind of rough.
Okay, if the election was held tomorrow between Trump and Harris, who would you vote for if you'd vote at all?
Definitely Trump.
Okay, can you disconnect me from, whatever Bluetooth device you are speaking to me
Oh,
through?
shit. I know.
Just turn your Bluetooth off on your phone. That's all.
There you go. Is that better?
Yeah, are you actively driving or are you just sitting in your car?
No, I am working right now.
Are you driving? Like behind the wheel?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I gotta kick you if that's the case. If you want to pull over.
Oh, come on.
If you.
What happened?
Why did I just hear the Minecraft?
Look, hey, it's some
XP.
kind of stupid shortcut thing where you plug the phone in and it does
Okay. Is there any way that I could that you could pull over for a convo? If you can't pull over, I just gotta
sure.
kick you.
Yeah, I'll pull over.
All right, I'm gonna put you on mute until you do pull over. As soon as you pull over, feel free to take your mic off of mute. In the meantime, I want to quickly thank Caroline. Thank you so much for the $20 donation on PayPal. I appreciate you so much, Caroline. It is good to see you today. Show some love to Caroline down below in the chat. Let's get to it at Caroline W's down below. Caroline says, hi, Dean. Hope you're doing well. I think after yesterday, many are looking for a conversation or clarification.
All right, I pulled over.
Because it is confusing and scary, especially from an international view. I know, dude. It was a very confusing and scary day yesterday. Thank you for the $20, and you're absolutely right in your evaluation. Then just one more. DM, thank you for the $20 over on Chat Super, who says, Dean, keep up the good work in these debates. Love seeing it, bud. Thank you so much, DM. Show some love to Caroline and DM. I appreciate you guys. And, man, go to take it away. Tell us why the hell you support the worst president of your life, Mr. Trump.
So, I mean, I just feel like he actually does shit, you know? He actually does something. Now, like, with Biden and all that, I just feel like he never did nothing. Now, I'm not going to say, like, it's, like, the best thing in the world that he's doing. But at the same time, like Biden and them never did nothing.
Okay, well, I feel like that belief, Biden never did nothing, is rooted with an ignorance of what they did compared to them actually not doing nothing. Okay. Like, they were actually a very effective administration. They got a lot done, ranging from the Chips and Science Act to the infrastructure bill, to the Inflation Reduction Act, to increases in the child tax credit under the American Rescue Plan, which was another piece of legislation that they passed, and about a billion other things, too. They actually passed some of the most monumental domestic legislation in modern American history.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just like a normal dude. I don't know nothing crazy about everything, but like, especially like for me, my biggest thing right now that's affecting me is gas. Gas is not doing the best right now.
Yeah, it's not doing the best at all. And by the way,
if he could fix that, then I'd definitely love him. But right now, I'm kind of like, golly, dude, come on.
Well, see, what caused the price of gas to go up?
See, I couldn't tell you. I guess the war.
Donald Trump starting a war in Iran, a war for no fucking reason.
Yeah. I agree with you with that. Like that, he's stupid for that.
Yeah, a war for dude, literally no reason. The only consequences of this war that will go down in history is the loss of life of American servicemen and women, the loss of life of 2,200 innocent Iranians, including 160 girls at an elementary school in southern Iran, the destruction of Iranian infrastructure, and massive disruptions in the global supply chain because the Strait of Hormuz was shut down for a couple weeks and is shut down again now. Those are the only outcomes of Donald Trump's war in Iran. And this is a perfect example of why you shouldn't support him as president, because he doesn't have the mental faculties to effectively lead. If he's just going to be starting wars for no reason at all, achieving absolutely nothing, and then when this war that achieves absolutely nothing inevitably hurts Americans, in which he then hears, and then that pisses him off, he threatens to genocide their country by saying that he's going to kill the totality of their civilization, right? He's just not mentally reliable. He's just somebody who should be far away from the Oval Office.
I get it for sure. Like, I mean, there's definitely stuff he's doing that's like not good at all. And I just feel like especially with Charlie Kirk, like I feel like he could have done better than Trump is for sure. Now, who knows? JD might do better. I have no fucking idea, but it's just a matter of time. And Trump's not doing the best. He had us in the first half.
Then why do you still consider him a Trump supporter? Why do you still consider yourself a Trump supporter?
Because I mean, just Trump. I just feel like he does more to kind of at least try changing things.
Dude, I mean, but all of the things in which he's done have just inevitably been terrible.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, honestly. I mean, I just feel like, he might do better.
Okay, well, I think he's already proved himself to not be doing better. See, that claim he might do better eventually is just blind faith. Completely irrational, unreasonable, blind faith. If we know that he's done terrible, okay, we see that track record, why should we just believe with no reason whatsoever that he's inevitably going to start doing good tomorrow? That is just the fifis in your tum-tum. It's blind faith.
I mean, I ain't no damn, like, political dude. I just, do my shit and go on with my day. It's just, like, something's got to change. But look, you know way more than I do. You definitely better than me. So, like, you have a good day. You do good. Do your thing.
All right. I'm going to go to move on because that guy just didn't have an argument. Okay, well, guys, there was the first debate in 34 minutes. And the first debate in 34 minutes was a man with no argument, just the feelings in his tum-tum. That's where MAGA's at. Are you driving?
No.
Okay, you're clearly in a moving car, so somebody else driving?
Yeah.
Could you have them say hey?
They're too far away?
They're too far away in the car that fits in a lane on the road. Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna ban you because you're lying to me, and we're gonna move on to the next Guest Southern Clips. Dude, is he? What the hell? Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
No one believes you. Moving on to the next guest. If you're inside of that queue, you have to be an American adult that supports Trump as president. I'm trying my best to give you guys some debates today. I'm trying my best. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump? No, they automatically left. There's just no Trump supporters left, you guys, and those that are left are just complete cowards. They're just in absolute disarray right now because of the state of the world and the tyranny of the Trump administration. They're kind of like hiding under their little rocks. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
How old are you?
18 or 19.
Dude, everyone's a kid. How old are you?
19.
And what year were you born in?
04. 2006. Jesus Christ.
Dude, moving on to the next guest. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. We got Preston loading up into the box. I'm trying my very best to find somebody for us to debate, you guys. I'm trying so hard. I'm trying so hard. Quite frankly.
Yo, Dean, I'm a big fan, bro. What's up?
Well, W fetus, but banned. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box, guys. 3 rules. There's only 3 rules. The 3 rules that you have to follow if you want to join is: point number 1, be MAGA. Point number 2, be American. And point number 3, be 18 plus. I have been repeating these 3 rules for 40 minutes. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
And how old are you?
I am 28.
Oh man, you're a Trump supporter? Dude, embarrassing. Why?
Listen, I feel like he has done some good, but recently, I can agree with you, he has not been the best.
I know, like, threatening to genocide another country.
Yeah, that's super, I'm not going to cuss, but that's super messed up.
I know,
super,
but I feel like
up.
if you don't stand against a president who will threaten genocide of 90 million people, then you stand against nothing.
Yeah, man, I don't know. The whole Israel support and all of that, it's just getting really out of hand. I mean, like you had another debate with that guy that was like in the truck and had to pull over. It's like, I used to like him, and then now it's like, okay, it's getting really hard to still like him. So it's hard to debate, right? And see a good point in what he's doing. It's really hard.
Well, let's see if we could push you over that line. Would you, finally just drop your support for Trump if you knew, for instance, he raped a woman?
Oh, I mean, of course.
Okay, so we know, for instance, he raped a woman. It's what a court proved. Here's the jury verdict form.
I had no idea.
From Trump. Here's the jury verdict form. This comes from a civil court in the state of New York from 2 years ago. Now, if you're curious why on the jury verdict form here it says no to rape but yes to sexual abuse, then why am I saying that they proved rape? Well, it's because what they proved was that he forcefully penetrated a woman's vagina without her consent with his fingers. And now, I would argue that forceful penetration of a woman's vagina is absolutely rape, okay? But New York State in 2022 would argue that's not always rape because of their strict legal definition, which was only the forceful penetration of the vagina with a penis. Not the forceful penetration of a vagina with a man's fingers. But clearly that's something that we had both considered to be rape, therefore the court proved rape.
What, you know what's crazy is that, like, I'm not questioning that this is not real, but why hasn't this been put forth in the media of like, hey, like our president is a rapist? Because like, obviously I've heard that and you're showing me the facts. So why hasn't this been like, hey, like our president is a rapist? Why hasn't that been like full coming and out and all these Epstein files? Like everything's been really like hush hush and it's just been really weird. Like, since you're stating that our president is a rapist, why hasn't that been like out, right? Like, because it's very
I mean,
weird.
Listen, I get upwards of 5 million people that will click in and out of my live stream on a weekly basis. I'd argue that's large enough. That's enough people to say, all right, like this is pretty substantial media. Okay, what we do here, the live stream that we run. And we talk about this every single day. It is out. It has been out. People have been talking about this. You just, A, haven't been paying close enough attention, or B, the media that you've been watching has not been talking about it because it's biased towards the right.
Right. No, that's insane. I mean, of course I've heard about it, but I've always thought that, okay, the left is propaganding like some BS. No way, like a president can still be in presidency and have real shit of rape. So it's just, yeah,
well, a president can be president while being a rapist if they could get enough people to believe that it never happened. And my evidence that he was able to get enough people to believe that it never happened would be you. You are somebody that supports Trump because you believe that it never happened, even though this was adjudicated by a court.
No, I'm not saying that I don't believe it never happened. I just was under the impression that it was like BS, and I never saw those files. I've never saw what you just showed me. So it's definitely like an eye-opener because I'm like, what the hell? Like, that's crazy.
Okay,
that's crazy.
Do you still consider yourself to be a Trump supporter?
I mean, not really. That's insane.
Okay, well,
yeah.
I guess I appreciate you for this short conversation. It's good to see a lot of people are finally, waking up to who Trump is. It's great, and I hope that you have a good rest of your day, okay?
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah, you take care. Let's go to get the next guest loaded up in the box. Jonah, I did invite you up. Hi, welcome in.
Grandma.
I saw your comment down below. I'd love to debate your grandparents.
Grandma, this guy wants to debate you.
Wow. He can hear you. What is the for?
Okay, so hi, my name is Dean. I run a daily live stream where we talk to Trump supporters. Looks like maybe your grandson Jonah tuned into this live stream and requested in your name. So essentially, what he's asking you here is if you'd like to have a conversation with somebody that absolutely hates Trump and thinks that he's the worst president ever. Now, if you don't want to have this conversation, all is good. Clearly, I don't want to pressure you into it. But if you are down for a debate, I'd love to have one with you.
Not really.
Okay, you take care. Let's go to get the next guest loaded up in the box. I'm going to go to repeat this, everybody. I am more than down to debate your family members. 100% love to do it. But just make sure that you check with your family members before you request to make sure that they're down with it too. And if they're not down with it, I don't want to pressure them into it. But if they are, let's go. That's awesome. Let's go to get the next guest loaded up into the box right now. You guys, on the opposite side of that queue of your MAGA, we are still looking for the next Trump supporter. By the way, if you're watching the live and you want to support me and the live, you can find my Venmo, PayPal, link to the bio, TikTok, pin message over on the elsewhere. We are going to be running a significantly shorter stream today than usual, folks. And we will likely also do a second stream later in the afternoon. Why? Is because at 2 my time, I got to go and get a cavity filled. That is here in 2 hours. So I'm going to be ending the live stream in 2 hours. Let's go ahead and get that next guest loaded up in. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
19.
What year are you born in?
2006.
And why do you support the worst president of your life?
I support him because I feel like he has some good policies. I like him defending America with his policies of ICE. I think those are great. I don't think the way that he has put them to capture immigrants, okay, but I do like that. I like him going into Iran to protect us from them being able to capture nuclear abilities, because we all know that would have been used against us and many other countries, and that would drag us into a world war. Do you not agree on that?
Yeah, I disagree. I disagree with your categorization of his war in Iran. I think that we shouldn't be historical revisionists, okay? We need to look at the facts. So Tulsi Gabbard, the DNI, the Director of National Intelligence, told us when she was forced to testify in front of Congress under penalty of perjury that we completely obliterated Iran's nuclear program months ago. And according to U.S. intelligence, they haven't even tried to start rebuilding it. And last night, Donald Trump published a statement on Truth Social saying that all military objectives in Iran have been met and that they've gotten everything that they've wanted. He falsely claimed regime change as well. Okay, well, there was no regime change. The only difference in the regime is that it's no longer, the Ayatollah, but now it's just the Ayatollah's son that's in charge. They have the same treasury. They have the same president. They have the same cabinet, quote unquote. And it's just an embarrassment and a mockery in the name of truth and a mockery in the name of the importance of human life for Donald Trump to lie to us all, telling us that the reason why he's starting this war is because they're an imminent nuclear threat. Meanwhile, we completely destroyed their nuclear facilities months ago. And then to falsely claim that all of our military objectives have been met, but nothing's been done. And to falsely claim regime change when there hasn't been a regime change. And the IRGC is very much so still in charge. Okay, so that's why it's hard for us to find these debates, guys. Those are the indisputable facts that completely debunk the narrative of the right, which is, facts. Why he left. For everybody who doesn't know, he left. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
My husband does, and he's down to debate you.
Put him on.
Yeah, I don't personally. We've been fighting for a year and a half now, in months. Yes.
Okay. Let's see if we can help you out here.
He's down to debate you. Yeah, he's right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, my apologies. I was eating.
No worries. It's a pleasure to meet you. So, well, I mean, it sounds like you know what I do, so we're just going to hop into it here. So, there's one argument that I have here that has proven to be the most effective at changing the minds of Trump supporters, at least those that are more reasonable. Okay? So, I really hope that you're a reasonable person. We'll see. This argument will definitely demonstrate your reasonability or lack thereof. The first question...
That could go both ways.
Yeah, the first question I want to ask you here is, would you stop supporting Trump as president if you knew for certain he had sexually exploited naked women?
There have been people that have gone to trial who has lied. So I would have to weigh that.
So the question wasn't, would you stop supporting Donald Trump as president if somebody accused him of sexual exploitation? But rather the question was, would you stop supporting Trump as president if you had known for certain it was a fact that he had sexually exploited naked women?
Tough question. With Vance being the vice president, probably would.
So you would stop supporting Trump?
I believe I would.
You believe you would?
What's important to me is the safety of our country and our people.
Okay.
And under Joe Biden, that was nowhere to be seen.
I completely disagree.
He's fine.
I completely disagree.
Oh, you think?
We're gonna have quite a while to litigate that. I just don't want to make sure that we're ignoring the question that I asked you in your response to litigate that claim. Now we'll litigate that claim in a bit. So you said that you would stop supporting Trump if you'd known for certain that he sexually exploited women. Perfect. Can we agree?
That's hard to really say 100% because there's already been women that have testified he has, which lied.
Okay, I disagree. I think that the women who have testified that Donald Trump did something to them were telling the truth. But I will repeat this for the second time now.
Sure.
I'm not asking you if you would stop supporting Trump as president if a woman testified that he sexually exploited them. Okay? I'm asking you if you would stop supporting Trump as president given that you knew for certain that he had sexually exploited naked women, which is different than a woman testifying that they were sexually exploited by him because you don't believe women. So basically what I'm positing here is if it was so damning that you believed it, would you stop supporting him? And in response, you said, yes, you would, right?
I believe I would.
Perfect. Can we agree that sexual exploitation is to do something sexual to somebody without their permission?
Yes.
A good example of this would be like some creepy ass dude following a woman or a girl into a dressing room or a bathroom just to barge in and then unconsensually look at their naked body, right?
I don't know that he knew they were naked, but I know what you're talking about when he put on the beauty show or whatever it was in one of the casinos. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, perfect. So then you're already familiar with the fact that Donald Trump has sexually exploited naked women. Now, for the more frequent viewers of the live stream, this, of course, is something that you hear every single day. The reason why it's something that you will hear at least once every single stream, if not even twice, is because how convincing of an argument it is to change the mind of somebody that's somebody that's reasonable. Now, I guess we don't know yet if this man is reasonable or not, but we are about to figure out. So you shared this with us. You told us that you would stop supporting Trump as president if he had sexually exploited naked women. And then we agreed that sexual exploitation is to do something sexual to somebody without their permission. Here is a clip of Donald Trump admitting to doing something sexual to a group of people without their permission. This is from Howard Stern's radio show in 2005. And yes, this would amount to an admission of sexual exploitation. I'm going to go to play the clip. And then after I play the clip, I'm going to finish it off with some comments. And then I'll pass the mic back to you.
China.
Well, you could also say as the owner of the pageant, it's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. and I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. You know, I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? You know, they're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
So I said I was going to finish this off with a couple comments, and I'm going to do that now because for whatever reason, we really need to dive into the nuance of what should be common sense in order to hopefully convince you of the fact that he sexually exploited these women. So what he admitted to in that clip was barging in to a space that was private for women only, that he was breaking a rule by entering because he said he got away with it, that he abused his privilege and power as owner to get into, where inside of that space, there were naked women with no clothes on who were getting dressed. Now, he said once he'd enter into that space, he would see these naked women, these women with no clothes on, and they looked so great. And then he, of course, turned around and went on Howard Stern's radio show and shared this information with Howard Stern and referenced Howard Stern's question asking Donald Trump if he had ever done anything sexual with his beauty pageant contestants. So we know that he's doing something sexual here. Okay, a man seeking out the naked bodies of women to oogle them to turn around and tell their buddies about how great they looked. Okay, that's something sexual. Okay, we know it was without their permission because women have a reasonable expectation of privacy inside of women's only spaces away from men, and he broke a rule by entering into them. He barged in. And we also know that Donald Trump had a reasonable expectation of seeing naked and changing women inside of this space because that's what women do in a dressing room for a bikini beauty pageant. Now, in consideration of all these facts, I think that it's beyond clear that he did something sexual to somebody without their permission. That was the definition of sexual exploitation that you agreed to. Therefore, it's beyond clear that he sexually exploited somebody. And given that it's beyond clear he sexually exploited somebody, you should no longer be a Trump supporter because you told us that you believe you no longer support him, given that you knew he had sexually exploited somebody.
No, I don't feel that that was exactly as it's termed. No.
So where did I go wrong?
He had the right, because he owns the darn thing. Was the doors locked? If they were scared of inappropriate people coming in that they didn't want in, why did they not lock the door?
Are the doors locked on the entrance to a woman's restroom in Targets, Walmarts, malls, gyms?
No. No.
Does that mean that men could walk into your local gym's locker room and look at the naked bodies of the women who are getting outside of the showers at the gyms?
Sure they can. The transvestites.
Okay.
Sure.
So transvestite is not a word. I think I've heard that before. I'm going to take a guess that was a way trans individuals were very derogatorily referred to years ago. And it's clearly very derogatory. I think let's call trans people. But on top of that, you want to now reshift this conversation into one about trans women and trans men to completely ignore the conversation, well, did Donald Trump sexually exploit these women and girls? Okay? But I'm going to go ahead and ask the question in another way that will make sense to you. We're going to assume your definition of the word man, male, your definition of the word woman, female. If a man were to walk into the open, unlocked woman's locker room, clearly denoted as such, at your local gym, to then go look at the naked women getting out of the shower at the gym in the locker room, would that be wrong? Or would it not be wrong because the door wasn't locked? I can't hear you, Inzel, the wife, the person that probably knows how to use TikTok. Can you try to mute and unmute the mic, swipe in and out of the app? I'm not quite sure of what's going on. I'd assume that it's some technical issue.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, now I can hear you. So go ahead, sir.
What did I hit? I'm only holding
You
the phone.
accidentally muted it.
How?
And I don't know, just talk.
Okay. I don't believe he walked in anybody's showers.
Can you answer the question? Because the relevant fact of the question that I asked you was just simply describing a man going into a space that's unlocked and hopefully concluding that it was wrong for the man to do so, even though it was unlocked, because it was a clearly denoted space for women and women only, a woman's locker room at a public gym. right? Because your first response was to say, well, it wasn't wrong for Donald Trump to sexually exploit these people. It wasn't wrong for him to go in there and look at their naked bodies because the door wasn't locked. Okay? But like, typically, there's not locked doors on women's dressing rooms at shopping malls, locker rooms at gyms, so on and so forth.
I would agree with that.
Okay, so it doesn't matter that there wasn't a locked door. Then the first thing that you said there was he had the right because he owned it? No. Sure, he owned the building, but he didn't own the bodies of the women inside. And when you own a building that includes a space in which is projecting the reasonable assumption of privacy to use as a space to get naked and to change in front of other people similar to yourself, like those in which would share your same gender, just because a man owns the building, they can't walk in. I could ask you a good question to prove this. Let's assume your wife worked a corporate job at a business building. It was a local business, a small business, so the owner of that business worked there too, and they were a man. Your wife is in the middle of her shift. She goes to use the restroom inside of this business and building owned by the man. Do you think that the man would have the right to follow your wife into the restroom, peek his head over the stall to look at your wife's private parts, simply because he owns the building?
No, but she's okay with trans people going in.
Yeah, so I am okay with trans women using the women's restroom. I think that we all should be, because I think that we should separate restrooms on the basis of gender identity compared to biological sex. But keep in mind, a conversation about trans women using the women's restroom is different from a conversation, did Donald Trump do something sexual to somebody without their permission when he barged into the dressing rooms at Miss Teen USA, Miss USA? So once again, you continue to try to reshift this conversation into one about trans people. I'll happily have a conversation with you about trans people as soon as we're done having a conversation about, did Donald Trump sexually exploit the beauty pageant contestants at Miss USA? So now that we've agreed that just because a man owns a building, it doesn't give that man the right to barge into any space in that building, including private spaces for women only. And we've agreed that just because there wasn't a lock on the changing dressing room door at Miss USA doesn't mean that Donald Trump had the ability to then walk inside and get away with it without being guilty of something such as sexual exploitation. Why do you still disagree that what Donald Trump admitted to does amount to sexual exploitation?
It can to a degree.
Okay, so then you're no longer a Trump supporter, and I've done my job.
Oh, no.
But you told us that if you believe that Donald Trump had sexually exploited these women, then you'd stop supporting him as president.
I'm thinking along the line of people that are trafficking women, abusing women.
Okay, well, sexual exploitation would be a form of sexual violence. So it would fall under that same category. But if you're thinking along the lines of people who are trafficking or abusing women, okay, we also do need to keep in mind here that he's protecting the people who have trafficked and abused women and girls. We only got 4 million of the 6 million Epstein files. He illegally hid over 2 million of them, didn't release them at all, on top of having his own name illegally redacted over 1 million times. And the only reason why we got 4 million out of the 6 million files is not because of Trump. In fact, his administration labeled it as an act of hostility to vote for their release in Congress, but rather because we, the people, demanded it, and Congress reacted and got it done against the wishes of the Trump admin. So I would like to let you know that he's definitely guilty of that too.
He did release them.
No, he didn't release them. Congress forced him to release them.
And he did.
Because of Congress forcing him to, not because he wanted to.
But he did.
Can we agree that doing something because you're forced to do it compared to doing something because you want to do it is very relevant to determining if we should support Trump for the release of the Epstein files or condemn Donald Trump for hiding and attempting to cover up and stop the release of the Epstein files?
He released them.
Let me give you a good example. Your child is dying. In order for your child not to die, they need a very special vaccine from a doctor. Scenario number 1, you take your child to the doctor willingly gives your child that vaccine and saves their life. Are we going to give that doctor a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Of course, a thumbs up.
Scenario number 2, you take your child to the doctor, you ask them to give them the vaccine, they say, I don't have the vaccine. You then point to the vaccine that's hiding behind their back, you call them a liar, then they say, okay, I do have the vaccine, but I'm not going to give it to your kid. And then you spend 2 months petitioning with every friend and family member you know to follow you into that doctor's office and demand that they give your child that vaccine. They still say no. So then you and everybody that you know forces the doctor to give your child the vaccine. And then finally your child's life is saved. Are we going to give that doctor a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
Well, thumbs down, of course.
So, but in both scenarios, inevitably, the doctor gave your child a vaccine, yet we're still, in one sense, having a positive reflection of the doctor, and then in the second scenario, having a negative reflection of the doctor, because in the first scenario, they did so willingly, and then in the second scenario, they didn't want to do it at all, but then they were forced to do it.
Well, apples and oranges, we're not talking about somebody's life on the line.
Well, what we're talking about is a fact that Donald Trump did not want to release the Epstein files, tried to prevent it, tried to stop Congress from coming to a vote. Like, for instance, they delayed the swearing-in ceremony of Adelita Grahova, who was the final name on the discharge petition list to force the vote. They obstructed. They broke the law in doing so. Then as soon as they couldn't delay her swearing-in ceremony anymore, they then went to the 4 Republicans with a name on the discharge petition list, Nancy Mace, Lauren Boebert, MTG, and Thomas Massie, asked all 4 of them if they'd take their names off so the files were never released. All of them said no. So then he crucified Thomas Massie online. He pushed MTG out of politics altogether. Now she's resigning. He vetoed Lauren Boebert's clean water bill. And who the fuck knows what he did to Nancy Mace. Okay. And then finally, after we, the people, demanded that Congress passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act and got it done, then he finally started to kind of sorta work with the law, but he still broke it many times, such as not releasing all of the files by the December 19th deadline, okay, not explaining all of the redactions after that deadline, and illegally redacting many things that were not allowed to be redacted by the law, such as the names and identities of the co-conspirators.
Well, it all ought to be unredacted. But President Trump did, back in the day, notify the Florida Police Department about something with the Epstein case.
That led to Epstein's original arrest?
I do not know.
Okay, well, I'll happily clear it up for you. After Epstein was originally arrested, he turned around and called the local sheriff and said, "Thank God you got him. I'm very happy that you got him." Now, this is actually very inconvenient for you to mention. The first reason why it's inconvenient for you to mention is because we see this phenomena where co-conspirators of criminals who get arrested for a crime will inevitably turn around and call the cops to assert and posture a good moral character so the cops don't suspect them of being involved. This happens all of the time. I'm not saying that this fact alone proves Donald Trump was a co-conspirator, but it definitely doesn't reduce the likelihood that he was a co-conspirator. If anything, it slightly increases it. And the point number 2, this actually exposes Donald Trump as a complete liar, because he's been telling us ever since 2019 that he never knew what Epstein was doing. Nobody ever knew what Epstein was doing. And it just completely caught them out of nowhere when he was finally arrested for the crime. But now, according to what we're learning from the Epstein files, he knew exactly what Epstein was doing. And he knew so much about it that he was even able to tip off the cops to Ghislaine Maxwell. So he's a liar. He's a liar and a fraud. He's been lying to you, me, and every other American since 2019 about the nature of his relationship with the most notorious child sex trafficker in modern history.
I don't believe that.
Why not?
He cut ties with him.
How do you know that?
He said it himself.
Exactly. Now you accept the testimony of something that somebody is saying. But when it's the 40 women that have accused Trump of rape, including E. Jean Carroll, who proved it in a court, you dismiss it because there's not enough evidence.
Well, you got to have evidence.
So then what's Trump's?
Why didn't anybody call the police way back when?
What's Trump's evidence?
Do what?
What's Trump's evidence that he cut it off with Epstein and kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago? Because apparently, according to you, we can't trust people and what they say. They need evidence to justify what they say. So what is the corroborating evidence for Trump's claim that he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago in the early 2000s?
I have read that he notified the Florida department before Epstein got arrested.
And that's a lie. That didn't happen. You were likely fed misinformation. Now, you could even prove to yourself that this is misinformation, because if you were to take a moment and scour the internet for any evidence of this claim, you won't find any whatsoever. That report was made to the cops after.
If that's true, then I stand corrected.
Fantastic. I have a big question I've really been meaning to ask you for a while.
Mm-hmm.
If Biden threatened to genocide another country of 90 million people, would any reasonable American that still somehow supported Biden stop supporting Biden because of that?
Yes.
So if
If we're
Trump,
talking about the citizens, yes.
so if Trump threatened to genocide a country of 90 million people, any reasonable American that still supports Trump would stop supporting Trump because of that, right?
I don't believe he would ever do that.
I know, it sounds outrageous, even for Trump. But if he did, would you stop supporting him?
I believe I would, but Congress wouldn't go along with it.
Well, that's what you'd think, right? This is something he actually did yesterday. Yesterday morning, he threatened to genocide Iran. He said, and I quote, "A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will." This is a threat of genocide.
He can't do that. It has to be an act of Congress. For nuclear.
He has to have congressional approval to threaten genocide?
No. No.
Okay, so he can do that.
He launched nukes.
Okay, but can we agree that he threatened genocide?
Yes.
Could we agree that 30 seconds ago you said that you'd stop supporting Trump as president if he threatened genocide?
No, I did not say that.
Let's roll back the VOD and let's take a listen. Here is you 30 seconds ago. Give it a moment to load.
Sure. Yes.
So if Trump...
If we're talking about the...
I have a big question. I've really been meaning to ask you for a while.
Mm-hmm.
If Biden threatened to genocide another country of 90 million people, would any reasonable American that still somehow supported Biden stop supporting Biden because of that?
Yes.
So if Trump...
we're talking about the citizens, yes.
So if Trump threatened to genocide a country of 90 million people, any reasonable American that still supports Trump would stop supporting Trump because of that, right?
I don't believe he would ever do that.
I know, it sounds outrageous, even for Trump. But if he did, would you stop supporting him?
I believe I would, but Congress wouldn't go along with it.
Okay. I think it's cut and dry. You affirmed that if Trump did this, you'd stop supporting him. And then you agreed that Trump did this.
Oh, I thought you were still talking. But he can't.
We have already agreed that he did. This whole conversation about him not being able... I don't get it, because you agreed that he did do it.
It's a power play. He can't launch a nuclear weapon.
Oh, you're talking about him actually genociding them. Well, I didn't ask you if you would stop supporting Trump if he actually genocided them. I asked you if you would stop supporting Trump if he threatened to genocide them, and you said yes.
No.
We just listened to you say yes.
It's a power play. He can't launch a nuclear
So you're
weapon.
walking back on your word.
Excuse me, I'm talking.
Okay.
It's a power play. He can't launch a nuclear weapon.
Nowhere in this conversation has him launching a nuclear weapon been brought up.
He can bluff all he wants.
But a bluff of a genocide is enough to stop supporting him, and you affirmed that. I asked you, would you stop supporting Trump if he threatened to genocide them? What was your response?
No, I won't. I wouldn't.
No, so you're changing your mind, right?
I'm changing my mind.
Why?
Because he can't.
Why is a threat of listen, threatening genocide, even if that threat is empty, is more than enough reason to stop supporting him as president. The first reason why I'd argue this is because think about the turmoil and pain and distress that those 90 million Iranians were living in for the 2.5 hours after this threat of genocide before the deadline, which inevitably led to a preemptive ceasefire agreement. Okay, they were probably collecting all of their friends, all of their family members, their young children, their parents, and their brothers and sisters, and saying their last goodbyes because the most powerful person alive gave them a threat of genocide. And on top of that, even from like the American perspective here, this is somebody who clearly has unreliable mental faculties. If the president of the United States of America is like threatening to genocide 90 million people, all right, their brain is just cooked. It's just gone. It's unreliable. That's not somebody who should ever be in a position of power. And I think that you need to get a grip. And I think that you know that you need to get a grip. I think that you know that this is wrong. I think that you know that this is absurd and abusive. Because, like I said, and like I just showed you 2 minutes ago when I asked you the question, would you stop supporting him if he did this? You said yes. I think that you were experiencing something that is called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is the self-remedy of the brain in which obfuscates between what is true and what is the lie based upon a confliction of beliefs, emotional and rational. You rationally can agree that we shouldn't support a president who threatens to genocide 90 million people. That's why you said, yes, would you stop supporting Trump if he did this before you actually knew he did? But then when you learned he actually has done this, when I read you off his comment from yesterday that proves it, you then changed your mind due to the confliction between the rational belief that you can't support any president who would do this and the emotional belief that you love Trump and you are a D1 member of his cult, which has now led to cognitive dissonance of you failing to retract your loyalty and support from Trump due to the fact that you're still holding on to that emotionally driven belief that regardless of what Trump does, he's a good president.
Are you going to let people talk?
Yeah.
Okay. I knew about that, what he said, before you brought it up. I read about it. Did it work that they came to a ceasefire? Yes, it worked.
What? Do you think that Donald Trump won anything?
They have a ceasefire at the moment, do they not?
So I want to clarify here. Okay. Donald Trump didn't win anything. Iran played the shit out of him. Okay? And this is not me praising the RGC. I hate those motherfuckers, but they won, admittedly. They did. That's just the fact. So the way that they won is after America launched their first strikes against Iran and the RGC on February 28th, the RGC then turned around and shut down the Strait of Hormuz, knowing that that would place political pressure on the Trump administration to pull back and take the nearest off-ramp from the war and to leave them the fuck alone, okay? Because that completely destroys the global oil market, markets as a whole, and makes things cost more for Americans, which pisses Americans off, reduces American support of Trump. Then Donald Trump doesn't want that, so clearly he's going to try to rectify the scenario. So in turn, okay, Donald Trump then tried to pull all of the cards. A threat of genocide, a threat of invasion, a threat of complete destruction, sending them back to the Stone Ages. It didn't work. It didn't work. So in turn, okay, Iran then was able to leverage their leverage, shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, by telling Trump, hey, Trump, we are willing to let the Strait of Hormuz go back to a similar state that it was at before February 28th when you started this war, if you back the fuck off. And then Trump said yes. And we know this because in Donald Trump's announcement of the quote-unquote end of the war last night, the ceasefire, he lied to our faces to try to save face for himself. He said that he's achieved regime change. No, the fuck he hasn't. The RGC is still in charge. The only difference is the Ayatollah. Now it's not Khomeini, it's just Khomeini's son. Like, same president, same everybody else. RGC is still in charge. And he said that he's achieved all military objectives. What objectives have been achieved? There's nothing that has been done in the last 3 weeks that has included the death of servicemen and women and innocent Iranians. Nothing. This was Donald Trump's off-ramp because Iran won.
The rocket launchers, they got missiles that can travel 2,500 miles. Only a little bit more time, they'll have one that could reach the United States.
Okay.
So,
well, if the RGC still exists, then the RGC can still continue to develop those ballistic missiles, my friend.
Oh, they're certainly going to try and start over, sure.
Okay.
And hopefully we continue to blow the shit out of it.
Oh, well, Donald Trump isn't. He announced a ceasefire. He said that we've done regime change. We've achieved all of our objectives. He said that now we could have a productive long-term agreement with him. Dude, he literally said that we're going to be lifting economic sanctions on them, meaning that they will only have more resources to build more fucking missiles. Like, it's unreal. It is so crazy. It is so crazy. And I mean, not even a day into the ceasefire, Israel violated it by continuing to bomb Lebanon, and which then Iran responded to by shutting down the Strait of Hormuz again. Like, this is just a wildly pointless war, okay, that we're fighting because of pressure from Israel. Fuck Israel. That has just cost the lives of innocent people across the world, and has resulted in nothing for nobody. Nothing for Iran, because the people are still being oppressed by the IRGC. Nothing for America, because now we're paying more for gas and oil. Nothing for the Trump administration, optically speaking, because there was no regime change. There was no objectives that were reached. And now he's saying to the world that he's going to be lifting sanctions on them to give them more money so they could expedite their military development and regional power, even though he said that was the problem insofar as why he started the war in the first place. Like, nobody won.
Are you okay with people
except for the IRGC,
Are you
which I
okay
hate.
with people preaching death to America for the last 40-something years?
Well, the group that has been preaching death to America for the last 47 years was the only group in the war that won.
And they are trying to build a nuclear weapon. And you're okay with them getting a nuclear weapon with death to America and higher technology on the rockets to reach the United States? Are you
Apparently
okay with
Trump
that?
is.
Are you okay with that?
Am I okay with that? No, I hate the IRGC. I hate them. I wish that Donald Trump never pulled us out of the JCPOA denuclearization agreement that we had with him in the first place, because we know that like war in the Middle East doesn't work to topple these regimes. Okay, that was proven by today. That was proven by Iraq. That was proven by Afghanistan. Okay, but it seems like maybe some sense of diplomacy would work. So that's why we implemented the JCPOA. They stopped developing any and all nuclear weapons. But like all of these comments that you're saying about the IRGC, I share them. They suck. They're terrible. Okay, but they won.
No, they never stopped. They never stopped.
That's a
We
lie.
would go to inspect, and they wouldn't let us in, or they would stall and move things. It was a disaster. It's been that way for decades.
So give evidence of that.
It's been happening with all the interviews of the people that went there to inspect.
Not according to the IAEA. Not according to the IAEA. Okay, point number one, Donald Trump himself in his first term signed off that they were not actively developing nuclear weapons while the JCPOA is still in place. And the IAEA, the International Nuclear Watchdog, affirmed that they had never enriched uranium beyond the extent allowed for like MRIs and X-rays, the 3.5% threshold, much lower than the 90% threshold required for the development of nuclear weapons that was actually allowed by the JCPOA. So that was just a lie.
I don't believe it.
I know, because it's not convenient to your political narrative, not because it's not true.
Safety of my country comes first.
If the safety of your country comes first, then you shouldn't support a warmongering president who wants to send us into the Middle East to threaten genocide, on top of threatening to invade and annex our allies like Canada and Greenland, on top of an invasion of Venezuela where he declared himself president, with proposed invasions of countries like Cuba, Colombia, and Mexico. Okay? Baseless war for no reason is very bad for global stability. When global stability, when we're further away from global stability, then we're at a larger threat of of safety problems here at home in America. Because not only are we domestically destabilized, because now GDP growth is slimmed, bankruptcies are up, job reports are down, but we also are pissing a whole lot of people off. And, what if some country that's allied or in relation with Iran wants to respond to America's threat of genocide in Iran? Well, what if? But we didn't have to ask ourselves that question when Biden was president, because he wasn't threatening to genocide Iran. He wasn't dropping missiles and killing their people and killing their Ayatollah, then replacing them with the Ayatollah's son, then claiming that all military objectives have been met and regime change was effective. Okay, all of these things instabilize us and unstabilize the world. Those things are very bad for national security.
Our citizens and the blue states are still protecting pedophiles and killers and drug and rapists, all because of Biden. That's okay?
That's crazy. You literally support a rapist as president that is actively protecting pedophiles and killers by not allowing the full release of the unredacted Epstein files? What are we doing?
You don't want to deal with Biden and what he pulled.
Well, it's just funny because exactly what you said about Biden, complete propaganda, is what is actually true of Trump. He's like legit a rapist who's protecting pedophiles.
That is
Like legit.
propaganda on Biden, and Venezuela is a free country now because of him. And now we have a good relationship.
Wait, so free countries could have dictators? Because Venezuela still is a dictator. So are you arguing that free countries could have dictators?
They are in the middle of transitioning, but they are more free than they've ever been.
Okay, what makes you think that?
What, 50 years?
I don't think that.
The people that they're interviewing in Venezuela, yes, there is change.
Well, no, Venezuelans are happy not because they're free, but they're happy because the person that led them to exist in a state of perpetual oppression is dead. But the state of oppression in of itself, sorry, not dead, captured. But the state of oppression in of itself is very real and very existent even today. Because Maduro's regime is still governing over Venezuela, but now just instead of being controlled by Maduro, is now being controlled by Trump.
No, it's not being controlled by Trump.
He declared himself the acting president of Venezuela. Not to mention that after we captured Maduro, we installed Maduro's vice president as president. And then we told the vice president that if she didn't do exactly what Trump wanted her to do, then they're just going to go bomb more people in Venezuela. So yes, Venezuela right now is being controlled by Trump.
It does not appear to be that way.
According to what data?
The people that they're interviewing in Venezuela.
The people are saying that they're happy Maduro is gone. I will repeat myself. They're saying they're happy Maduro is gone, and so am I. But the state of oppression created by Maduro through the illegal conquest and takeover of what was a democracy and now a dictatorship is not gone.
It doesn't happen overnight.
So you admit that they're not free?
They're more free than they were, and there is changes coming.
Okay, exactly. So you just have to say, trust me, bro, the changes are coming.
Doesn't happen overnight.
How do we know the changes are coming?
Just like it is here with ICE. It doesn't happen overnight. They're slowly getting them.
ICE hasn't made us a freer country. They've made us closer to Venezuela. They've made us closer to the dictatorships because now we see ICE executing citizens in broad daylight like Alex Preddy and then getting away with it and being labeled as patriots because amounting to state-sanctioned murder.
Can I say something real quick? Sure. Dean, I don't know if you already told him that you used to be a Trump supporter, but so that just he knows that you're not like a bleeding heart liberal or like he likes to call it.
I guess I don't really think about that fact much. Like, yeah, when I was like 16, yeah, I was a Trump supporter. That's true. I don't know if that changes your view on me at all. Does it really make a difference? I guess maybe if I was like a crazy conservative Trump supporter, I could see how that might make a difference because it kind of reshifts the perspective of what the person, attempting to educate you on is coming from. Yeah, I used to be a Trump supporter.
No, it makes zero difference. It makes zero difference to me on where you came from or how you've changed. The only thing I care about is the safety of my country.
Is our country safer and freer when citizens are being executed by agents of the states in broad daylight?
Well, the girl that got shot was trying to drive off and hit the guy that was in front of her car. Yeah, she should have been shot.
What about Alex Preddy?
Tell her to get out of the car. They won't get out of the car. People in the street are violating the law. You're not supposed to be in the street.
What about Alex Preddy?
Peaceful protest.
I think that Renee Good was innocent and that was murder. But I think I may have a little bit easier of a time debating you about Alex Preddy because you're very far gone and it'd just be annoying to go through all the complexities and nuance that would be required to be understood about Renee Good. It's a lot more cut and dry when we're referencing Alex Preddy. What did Alex Preddy do to deserve to get shot in the back 12 times?
I don't know anything about it other than what I heard. And I heard that he was shot by mistake. Is what I heard.
If he was shot by mistake, then why did Kristi Noem, the head of DHS, say that the officers who shot him were abiding by department and federal guidelines?
I don't know. I don't know what the guidelines were. But I did hear it was a mistake on him getting shot by numerous people.
I think when you say mistake, what you mean to say is murder. Because if it was a mistake, then it wasn't justified. And if it was the unjustified killing of a human being, then by definition, it's murder.
I guess they will send it to court and they will figure it out. Put it before a jury of his peers.
Yes. I think in very complex scenarios, it would require a court trial to understand all the facts. But this isn't one of those complex scenarios. Because I think what we saw was an unarmed man on all four on the ground being shot in the back 12 times. And that's just so clearly an execution. We don't need a court to understand this.
Well, if that's the way it was, then that would be true.
Okay, and that is the way it was.
Then it was wrong.
Okay, so then why is the president defending the execution of an American citizen not enough for you to stop supporting him?
I haven't heard that. I don't know.
Okay. Here's a better question. Why is the president calling for the execution of his political opponents in Congress not enough for you to stop supporting him?
I don't know anybody.
You don't know anything about that. Let me show you. Let me show you all you need to know about that. Here's Donald Trump on Truth Social 12 weeks ago. The President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, Washington Examiner titled, Democratic Veterans in Congress urge service members to refuse unspecified unlawful orders by saying that this is really bad and dangerous to our country and that their words cannot be allowed to stand. He then followed that up with a second post that reads, this is seditious behavior, punishable by death. And then he reposted a comment that reads, quote unquote, hang them, George Washington would. So Donald Trump baselessly accuses Democrats in Congress of being traitors, said that their sedition is punishable by death, and then reposted a comment saying hang them. This is Donald Trump directly calling for their execution.
Well, he's wrong.
If Biden directly called for the execution of innocent Republicans in Congress who didn't do anything to deserve execution, would any reasonable American stop supporting Biden as president?
He would be wrong.
But would any reasonable American stop supporting Biden as president?
It'd be an individual decision.
Would reasonable individuals make the decision to stop supporting him as president?
Not necessarily, no.
Why not? Like, how could there ever be a greater confliction to the American identity? We are supposed to stand on principles of free speech, freedom of political affiliation, freedom of press, freedom of thought and opinion. Now, the president, the most powerful person in the country, is calling for the execution of those just because they have different opinions than him.
Matter of opinion.
What do you mean by matter of opinion?
Like I said, everybody has their own right to make their own decision.
But the key word here is what would the most reasonable opinion be? And I feel like the most reasonable opinion would not to support somebody who'd engage in those actions as president.
Well, we're coming from two different areas. I again, paramount to me is the safety of our country.
And what is he doing to make our country safer?
Building the wall, dealing with immigration instead of letting everybody come in.
What has he done to better equip border security in the last year and a half?
Since the last time he was enacted, we didn't have illegals coming across the border.
In his first term?
Correct.
Yeah, we had lower levels of undocumented entry into America at the end of the Biden-Harris administration compared to at the end of the Trump administration. That's just a bold-faced lie. In fact, for the first 3 years of the Trump administration, his first time around, we only saw increasing numbers of undocumented entry into the country until the implementation of Title 42 with the pandemic. Now, if you want to make the claim that we have lower levels of undocumented immigration in the second administration, that one would be true, but just not about his first, Edmund. Now, in the second admin, it's gone down by over 90%, but I don't think that's because he's made border security better off. I think it's because he's been scaring those undocumented immigrants away by violating both the human, natural, and constitutional rights of the undocumented immigrants who are already here.
If it leads to the safety of our country, I'm all for it.
Okay, so then you're all for Trump being a dictator because you just said that you're all for him positioning himself above the Constitution as long as you think that it makes the country safer. You're pro-dictatorship, like dead ass. Like, would you be okay with Donald Trump rigging 2028 if Gavin Newsom won over J.D. Vance because you think that J.D. Vance would be better for the safety of America?
He's only allowed 2 terms, except it has happened once with, I believe it was FDR, during the war. He extended his term till it was over.
Answer my question.
Correct. What?
If J.D. Vance ran against Gavin Newsom in the 2028 election, and Gavin Newsom won freely and fairly, but then Donald Trump rigged it for J.D. Vance to install J.D. Vance as president, would you support that, given that J.D. Vance was better for the safety of the country compared to Gavin Newsom?
Well, it depends on the facts.
You supporting Donald Trump turning America into a dictatorship depends?
If it was true and they had the evidence, then yes, Newsom would be president.
But if Donald Trump prevented that by just completely outcasting the Constitution, positioning himself above it, weaponizing the National Guard, and installing J.D. Vance, would you support that, given that J.D. Vance was better for the security of our country? Because this is essentially the argument that you just ran about Donald Trump infringing on the constitutional rights of undocumented immigrants. Like, you understand when Donald Trump says he doesn't care we're deporting people without due process, when Donald Trump tries to pass an illegal EO to reclassify citizens as undocumented immigrants to be deported in violation of the 14th Amendment rights, that is Donald Trump positioning himself above the highest law in the land, which means he is the law of the land in accordance with that view. And you said that's something that you support because you think it's better for the safety of our country. So what if he was to do that same thing, position himself above the law of the land and become the law of the land to install J.D. Vance after losing the 2028 election as president for 4 years because you think that J.D. Vance would be better off for the safety of the country?
No.
Okay, what's the difference?
You twisted my words.
Did I?
If they found that he was involved in rigging the election, then Newsom should be president.
Okay, so you wouldn't support Trump infringing on the Constitution?
If he's meddling with the election, then for one, he should be prosecuted, and Newsom would be the winner.
So you would not support Trump as president if he infringed on the Constitution intentionally, right?
I think your answer is depends.
Do what?
I think your answer is depends.
Oh, well, that may be.
Would you still support Trump as president if he intentionally infringed on the Constitution?
In what way?
Taking constitutional rights away from citizens.
I'm in agreement that only U.S. citizens should be allowed to vote.
Okay, that's fine. Answer my question. Would you stop supporting Donald Trump as president if he intentionally took constitutional rights away from natural U.S.-born citizens?
No.
You would stop supporting him as president?
I don't believe so.
So you would continue to support him as president?
Well, who has he kept from voting?
I didn't say voting. I said constitutional rights. There's many other constitutional rights outside of voting.
There's a lot of gray areas in the constitutional rights.
What if it's just not a gray area? What if he takes a constitutional right away from a U.S. citizen intentionally, and it's just like not gray at all? Like it's just clear. Like, would you stop supporting him as president?
Well, there's a lot of people who are U.S. citizens that are not allowed to vote.
I'm not asking you about voting. Well, I don't know why you keep going back to that. I do it. Comprehension issue. I'm asking you about like any constitutional right. Like we have a lot of constitutional rights, you know. So if Donald Trump like passed a sweeping executive order to unconstitutionally and illegally take like any clear constitutional right away from like millions of citizens, would you still support him as president?
It depends on who the citizens are.
Okay, it depends. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, brother. I'm done with this convo. I just think that you're too far gone. You wouldn't stop supporting Trump if he sexually exploited naked women and girls. You wouldn't stop supporting Trump if he threatened to genocide 90 million people. You wouldn't stop supporting Trump if he positioned himself above the Constitution and passed sweeping legislation to take constitutional rights away from millions of citizens. You're too far gone. Like, and honestly, no, I'm not going to say that because I don't want to make this guy angry.
Oh,
Goodbye. We're going to move on to the next guest. Holy dude. He's just way too far gone. That guy is like, I feel so bad for his wife, man. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. Only up inside of the queue if you happen to be MAGA. To the guy's wife, yeah, Enzo, listen, I tried everything. His mind is not changing. Okay? He is stuck in his delusion. Jack, thank you so much for the $20 over on Chat Super. I appreciate you, Jack. Let's get 200 Jack W's down below. Jack with the $20 says TLDR. I don't believe that. Equals I didn't know that. Equals that's not what I said. Equals that is what I said, but I don't have a better answer. Slash it doesn't appear that way. Equals it's not what the one-sided news I watched was saying. Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for the $20, Jack. Dude, that evaluation was spot on, my friend. On PayPal, thank you so much, Caroline, for another $20. I appreciate you. I did see that just came in. Let's get another 200 Caroline W's, as well as Vita. Thank you for the $2, and then Angel, thank you so much for the $15 donation. Let's get 250 Angel W's. Angel with the $15 says, "This is for my friends in Lebanon. Thank you for using your platform for good, Dean. To your viewers in the U.S., folks, please call your government officials, please. There's not much I can do here in the Philippines about this, but please hashtag impeach Trump now." I could not agree with you more, Angel. 110 fucking %. Show some love to Angel down below. Trump absolutely sucks. Absolutely is terrible. Now, I think that we also quickly have a couple people to thank on Venmo. Thank you so much, Bill, for the $1. Brent, thank you for the $10, who says, "Guess Enzo seems to be out of touch in current events. We're already involved in military actions without formal congressional approval. So saying Trump won't act without Congress ignores reality." Yes. Max, thank you for the $5. I appreciate you. Morgan, thank you for the $10, who says Iran just closed a Strait of Hormuz due to Israel attacking Lebanon. Yes, I did see that. Show some love to Morgan in that chat. Let's get 100 Morgan W's. Then Kelly and Jaden, thank you guys for the $5. Sora, thank you for the $5. Happy birthday, Anwar. Katie, thank you for the 5. And then Michelle, thank you for the 10, who says, "Thank you for everything that you do. I love this cult." Let's go. W. Dean Colt. Lola with the 10, who says, "Thank you for the lives. I find myself more and more educated every life. Have an amazing day." You too, Lola. And then Avril, thank you for the $10 as well. And Cadence, thank you for the $15, who says, "After completing my poll worker training last night, I'm not surprised you're struggling to find people who can't read." Yeah. Thank you for the $15, Candace. Let's get 150 Candace W's. And then 200 Beth W's for the $20, who says he's still MAGA because he can't stand the idea of a black woman being president on God. And then Natasha, thank you for the $20, who says, "First time donor, been watching for a year." Oh, actually, Natasha, I did thank you when you sent that. Thank you guys so much for all the love. Please show some massive love to all of the donors down below in that chat. I'm forever grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for supporting what we do. I think that we also have DM over on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you for the $15, who says, "Thanks, Dean, for doing the good work." Well, thank you, DM, for supporting what we do. Then Moto, thank you for the $10 as well. He says, "Dinner tonight's going to be awkward for that dude." I don't know. Maybe it won't be awkward because the wife is just unfortunately like used to it because that's what she has to live around on a daily basis. You know what I mean? I'd also like to quickly thank Alexandra. Thank you so much for the $10 over on Venmo as well. Let's get 100 Alexandra W's down below. All right, I'll read that to myself, but you're probably right, Alexandra. Thank you so much for that love. If you're watching the stream and you want to support me in what we do here, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in the bio on my TikTok account. It's also in the pin message over on the other place that I can't say because I'll get a flag from TikTok. Get 100% of those proceeds. You could even attach a message that I could read off on live. Like right now, we just got one in from Heather for $6.66 on Venmo, who says, "Brainwash Colt News." Thank you so much for the Colt News. Show some love to Heather down below. Well, we get that next guest, Caitlin, loading up into the box. Yeah, Enzo was a very interesting case, by the way, not only because he was just like a crazy cultist, but he was also like keeping his cool, you know, like that whole time he was like speaking very like calmly, like usually when you like come across such a cultist, like, they have like no emotional regulation in the slightest. Hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
29.
Okay. Embarrassing. Why do you support Trump?
I genuinely think that he's trying to make the world a safer place.
By threatening to genocide 90 million people and starting a war to kill people, claiming
do
that all
you know
objectives
things
have been
about
met when
leverage?
no objectives
Do
have
you
been
have
met?
any idea about leverage?
I have an idea of what leverage is, like the leverage that the Iran had over America by shutting down the Strait of Hormuz.
Having the most powerful military in the world isn't leverage, right?
I think that having the most powerful military in the world can be a leverage. I don't understand where you're getting at.
Threatening to use that in a way that it could be used would not be leverage, right?
Well, if it's a threat of genocide, it wouldn't be leverage, it'd be terrorism.
Right. So we can get into the semantics of that, sure. But what he's ultimately trying to do is he's trying to get them to do what he wants them to do.
Which is?
Open the strait.
Why was the strait shut down in the first place?
Because they took it over.
Because they took it over? No. The strait was shut down because we started a war with them.
Yeah, I know that. And they took it over after that.
Right, exactly. So in other words, Donald Trump did something that caused the strait to be shut down. So then Donald Trump had to threaten to genocide 90 million people in order to reverse the thing that he caused. Well, then I just think that this is an example of a very incompetent, ill man.
Do you understand how long this conflict has been going on for?
Well, I know that the direct war has been going on since February 28th.
Right. So military operations, sure. But there's been an ongoing thing for like years, dude. It's been going on since 1979.
Like, was this strait shut down though?
They've consistently been considered a world threat.
Oh, but then
by multiple presidents.
Is this strait shut down?
Now? No.
Well, actually, it is now. The question was this strait shut down since the 70s?
No, they opened it because of the ceasefire, bro.
They closed it again because Israel broke the ceasefire, but that's kind of irrelevant.
What is
I guess it's actually not irrelevant at all. Yeah, it's closed again. Super relevant.
It's not closed, dude. It's a part of the ceasefire deal. It's a part of the ceasefire deal.
This is
like
breaking
deal that we got going on right now.
This is breaking news.
Ceasefire deal.
I'd assume the last time you checked the news was last night. I'd assume the last time you checked the news was last night, right?
This morning, actually.
Okay. Then this probably happened after you checked the news this morning. So after the ceasefire is implemented, Israel continued to bomb Lebanon. Then in response, Iran reclosed the Strait of Hormuz. And I'd assume that like right now there's back channel communication between Iran, Pakistan, Lebanon, Israel, and America to hopefully figure that out.
Right. So what are you trying to say exactly? That you're trying to say that the strait isn't open right now?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's just it's not even a debate point. That's
the
just
stocks haven't been going up. Like the tension hasn't released like at all.
I think that we did see a slight rebound in the price of oil after the strait was reopened last night. I haven't checked the market since it was closed again. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that Donald Trump is an incompetent fool. My evidence is that he started a war for no reason, got nothing out of that war, no objectives were met, and now he's trying to find the nearest off-ramp.
I wouldn't say for no reason.
What was the reason?
That's not true. That's just simply not true.
What was the reason?
They've been trying to get a nuclear weapon, bro. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on TikTok, but like they're trying to get a big boom, bro.
Okay, so what was Trump's objective?
But Trump's objective is to make sure that they don't have possession of that weapon.
Okay, well, we know that objective was not met. Clearly. The reason why I say that is point number one, we completely destroyed their nuclear facilities months before we started the war. Even the DNI Tulsi Gabbard testified to the fact in front of Congress that they haven't even started on trying to rebuild them. And then point number two, the IRGC is still governing over Iran. And in fact, now they're only going to have more money to try to build nukes because we're lifting sanctions on them. So that objective has definitely not been met.
Right. So we're not going to get more oversight on them? We're not going to have more... We're not going to have more oversight. Like, pretty sure our oversight has been down since, I think, 2019, mid-2019.
When Donald Trump pulled us outside of the JCPOA.
Yeah. I know. He did not want them to have a nuclear weapon.
Then why would he pull us out of the agreement that prevented them from having a nuclear weapon?
Right. So,
that right there is why you shouldn't support Trump. It's because he's literally just
a mistake on his part. I can admit it's certainly a mistake, but like he should have at least done something, not fully pulling out. But it's not entirely his fault that this is happening, because like I said, this has been going on for at least a half a century, bro.
But my point is that the war achieved nothing. You say it was to prevent them from getting nukes. Their nuclear facilities are at the same state they were before the war, which was completely destroyed. Okay? And then point number two, realistically, the only way that we could prevent them from getting nukes is to make sure that the IRGC, doesn't exist anymore. But they still do exist. they're still oppressing the Iranian people. And now they're only going to have more money because we're lifting sanctions on them to start rebuilding their nuclear programs if they wanted to.
With oversight.
Where did it say that in the 10-point plan? I did not see that.
I would imagine that there would be some level of oversight, because that's the biggest issue that we're having.
But that wasn't a part of the 10-point plan, so you're wrong.
Last however long now.
But that was not a part of the 10-point plan for the ceasefire. You are incorrect.
Okay, so either way, there has to be oversight. Do you and I could we agree that there should be some level of oversight of Iran doing that?
Well, actually, yes, because I think that is the best way to prevent more destabilization in the region and not enabling Israel or America to go in there and start new wars. No shit. That's actually why, in my mind, I think that Israel didn't support the JCPOA. Fun fucking fact. Israel did not support the denuclearization agreement signed into effect under Obama that prevented Iran from building nukes and gave us guarantees that they weren't building nukes by giving us a high level of oversight. The reason why I don't think that they respected that agreement or wanted that agreement is because, well, if we knew they weren't building nukes, then Israel couldn't use the threat of Iran building nukes to go kill more innocent people or to go start another war. Now, I would even argue here that maybe Donald Trump has been very compromised by Israel for much longer than we think, because the high level of compromisation from Israel is a conversation that has really only started with them pressuring him to start a war in the Middle East. But I think that high level of compromisation has existed for a very long time, and that's maybe one of the reasons why Donald Trump pulled us out of the JCPOA in his first term. Because although I think that he's stupid, doesn't have a brain, he's completely incompetent, I think that he does have advisors around him that are maybe a little bit more intelligent than he is. And I don't think it even takes an intelligent advisor. It might take a fourth grader to determine that pulling out of the denuclearization agreement with Iran is a bad idea, right? But he did anyways. So what if that was another what if that was another decision that he was pressured into by Israel, so then they could restart their claims of Iran building nuclear weapons now that we don't have oversight and confirmation that they aren't, to then hopefully restart this war one day. Didn't work under Biden. Israel had asked Biden to bomb Hezbollah based upon false intel of a preemptive attack. Biden said, no, I'm not going to fight your war for you. Okay. So then Donald Trump won the election. He got put back in the Oval. They asked Donald Trump the same question, but now in reference to Iran, and then Donald Trump said yes, started to fight their war for them on the basis of a lie, because they were not an imminent nuclear threat, because we completely destroyed their nuclear facilities months ago, and is now looking for an off-ramp because this is hurting the world, hurting the global oil supply chain, and hurting global markets, and hurting us, okay? And now he's saying that, well, all of our military objectives have been met, even though we've achieved nothing, and we've completely reformed the IRGC and committed regime change, even though the IRGC is still in effect, and the only difference is instead of it being Khomeini, it's now Khomeini's son. So, this is all just tantamount to an international embarrassment that demonstrates Donald Trump to be mentally unfit to serve, on top of international pain and harm, because this includes 160 dead kids from an elementary school in southern Iran, 2,100 dead adult civilians from elsewhere in the country, and a distraction away from the Epstein files, on top of the dead servicemen and women that died in Qatar and other bases in the Middle East since February 28th. This is my most compelling argument I have for you insofar as why you shouldn't support Trump, because of all of the reasons I just shared.
So I can see the theory behind that, where people believe that Trump is compromised and stuff like that. I see the theory, but I just don't buy into that entirely. As far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, Israel is an ally of ours. Are they not?
Well, I wouldn't consider them to be an ally. I think the word ally is the governmental way to refer to a really good friend, right?
Right.
And I don't think they're a really good friend, because they make us fight their wars for them.
Right. Well, I mean, that's your opinion. I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying that Israel is an ally of ours. On a governmental level, they're considered to be an ally.
Well, A, Google USS Liberty. B, we shouldn't be allied with countries that are committing genocides. And C,
I know about
outside
Liberty,
of the USS Liberty and their genocide in Palestine, even if they never genocided Palestine, never destroyed the USS Liberty, then we still shouldn't be allies with them, because they're having us send our servicemen and women to die for them in their battle, their fight, their war.
Right. Our allies got an issue with somebody in their region, right? They got an issue, and quick question, you're saying that they weren't a nuclear, an imminent threat, right?
Yeah, and Trump lied.
Right. So
do you accept that?
Which is it? Was it that it was completely destroyed, or that they did have a nuclear program?
It's that the nuclear program was completely destroyed months before we started this war. Do you agree that Donald Trump lied when he said the reason why we're starting this war is because Iran is an imminent nuclear threat?
I mean, probably not.
Okay. Could we agree that imminent means immediate?
Imminent. Well, I mean, the word itself, yeah, it means immediate. But
is there any way that Iran could have been an immediate nuclear threat if their complete nuclear program was destroyed and they hadn't started on working on rebuilding it?
Based on what I understand, they claimed to destroy it, but they didn't. Right? Like that's my understanding, that they didn't 100% wipe it out. They took out a lot of the infrastructure for it, but they didn't completely wipe it out.
What U.S. intelligence indicates that?
What
U.S. intelligence indicates that?
Indicates that
we didn't completely destroy their nuclear program?
As far as I was hearing it was like during the State of the Union, how he was touting how that we completely destroyed it. And then the news came in and then said that wasn't the case.
News from where? Because
I can't remember. It wasn't. It was like ABC, the New York Post. It was somebody. It was like
I could prove you wrong. I could prove you that news never existed.
Okay.
Here's Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence.
So the assessment of the intelligence community is that Iran's nuclear enrichment program was obliterated by last summer's airstrikes.
Yes.
In the opening statement you submitted to the committee last night also stated, quote, "There has been no effort since then to try to rebuild their enrichment capability," end quote, correct?
That's right.
And that's the assessment of the intelligence community.
Yes.
Well, all I could say is that, from my understanding, in my opinion, I think that we should have been going into Iran to stop the IRGC from wiping out their own people. Like they're literally taking out their own internet. They're taking out and killing, or unaliving thousands of protesters. Like at the very least, we should have stepped in to stop that.
Okay, well, we didn't do that either.
So wiping out the leaders that were doing that doesn't stop that?
Yes.
Gotcha. I see.
Would killing Trump change the fact that the Republican Party's in charge?
Well, no, at this point, you wouldn't be able to do that.
Right. Just now, very similarly, killing the Ayatollah didn't change the fact that the IRGC was still reigning over Iran. In fact, they still have the same president, the same secretary of the treasury, and nearly every other cabinet position. The only thing that has changed, instead of it being Khomeini, now it's just Khomeini Jr. Like, literally his son. And now we're going to give them economic relief, take our sanctions off of them, give them more money. Now they're only going to be more powerful. Okay? Right? And by the way, that's stupid. Just to release sanctions on the IRGC with nothing in return, that's dumb as fuck. I fully supported lifting the sanctions on Iran when what we were getting in turn was a denuclearization agreement with Iran, where they could not build nuclear weapons. I was perfect. But all that we're getting in return for lifting our sanctions on Iran is what we already had before February 28th, which was the Strait of Hormuz being reopened. So, in other words, the reason why I say, although I hate the IRGC, the reason why the IRGC won this war is because before this war started, the IRGC had an open Strait of Hormuz, okay, and economic sanctions imposed on them by America. Now, after this war has ended, the IRGC has an open Strait of Hormuz that they're now getting paid $1 million per vessel for, and no more economic sanctions imposed on them by America. Like, Trump just handed more money, therefore more power and more control, to the IRGC on a silver platter. And that's the outcome of the war, the art of the deal. And
right. Well, I would just suggest giving it some time, bro, because they're going to be having some talks within the next couple weeks, and there could be things that'll be like coming out of that. I'm sure that there's not going to be just some empty-handed deal. I don't think Trump would just walk away empty-handed.
If he could, he will, if he could make it look like he's not, which he's already doing, which is why I know that's what he's going to do. Maybe if he didn't lie about achieving regime change in Iran, or lie about achieving all of these military objectives in Iran in his statement announcing the ceasefire last night, then there might be a better deal made 2 weeks from now. Now, because last night he lied about achieving regime change and lied about achieving every single one of our military objectives, he's so clearly setting the stage for walking away empty-handed, with the intention to lie to Republicans the same way he did about the 2020 election to make it seem like he's not.
Sure. Well, I'm just saying, bro, like, and I don't think that you got any argument on me from that, but it's just that I'm telling you just to give it some time, because I don't think that Trump's just going to walk away empty-handed on that.
Then why would he lie about
getting the Strait of the Hormuz is open, like that's a great, but we need to have some level of an agreement that they have to have either oversight on their nuclear program or just complete denuclearization. Like there's got to be some level of an agreement on that.
Well, wasn't that one of the military objectives going into the country, was to denuclearize them?
To ensure that they never get opportunity.
That was one of the military objectives, right?
Yes, and I think that's been achieved.
Well, last night, Donald Trump said that we've already achieved every single one of our military objectives, which means Donald Trump has already not just set the stage, but told the lie that we've already ensured that they're denuclearized. That right there is why I don't think we're going to get a better deal 2 weeks from now. Because he's, according to Trump, we already have.
Right. Well, where did he say that exactly? Was it on a Truth or something like that he said?
Yeah, it was his official announcement, at first shared by him on his Truth Social, and then repurposed and packaged as an official announcement from the White House on whitehouse.gov, their press releases, and across other social media platforms. So the official statement from the White House today is that we have already achieved every single one of our military objectives, and we have regime changed the IRGC.
So he said explicitly that we did a regime change?
Yes!
Could you read that for me?
Happily.
Could you read it for me?
Yeah, happily. Because that's crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would think that wouldn't be true.
It's not true. It's just a lie, dude. Let's go ahead and pull that message up.
That's what I meant to say. Not that it's true. That's not true. I meant to say that it's not true. That's what I meant to say.
There we go. He posts a lot, so.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't stop talking sometimes.
Where is it at? Here. Is this one it? Let me read it real quick. Give me 1 moment. Guys, in the meantime, make sure that you're double tapping away that phone screen, sharing out this live with a handful of friends. I appreciate you guys so very much for being here. You guys are awesome. Everybody just give me 1 moment. Right now I'm looking for the statement from Donald Trump claiming regime change. Yeah, I'm struggling to find it on his Truth Social just because yesterday he happened to spam 150 different posts endorsing different Republicans from across the country. So that really pollutes the feed. And it would honestly probably necessitate that I sit here for 15 minutes and read through every single one.
Yeah, there's no point in wasting your stream on that, bro.
Let me...
Yeah, see if you can find it more directly.
Yeah. Oh, found it. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I just went to Twitter. All right, take a look at the screen. This is from the official White House account. Okay, this is from the official White House account. White House at White House.
Okay, all I could see is Trarnold's face.
I know. Give me a second. I'm fixing that. The United States will work closely with Iran, which we have determined has gone through what will be a very productive regime change.
That will be a very productive. He said,
but
will.
God
He didn't
has.
say that
We have determined has gone through.
Work which has determined. Wait, hold on a second. My brain is almost breaking.
I know, because I agree that this statement is kind of contradictory.
Okay, the United States will work closely with Iran, which we have determined has gone through what will be a very productive regime change. Will be,
but gone through.
No, dude, he has gone through what will be.
Well,
what will be?
If this was future,
he didn't say that there was a regime change.
If this was future,
there will be a regime change.
If this was future tense, then the statement would read as Iran, which is going through what will be. But because he says Iran, which has gone through what will be, I think I think what he's saying here is that they have gone through the regime change, and this is something we will likely reflect on as productive in the future.
Right. I'm not meaning to be contradictory to what you're saying. I'm just saying that the important thing is will be. It isn't that it is.
Well,
it is that it will be.
I think that the more important thing is that he says they've gone through regime change.
No, he didn't say that they gone through. They said that them working together. They're going to have a productive.
Admittedly, he literally
change.
said, "gone through." Okay, has gone through. Okay, if I've gone through something, am I telling you that I went through something in the past, or that I'm going to go through something in the future?
He's like using present and future tense words in this sentence.
He is.
So it's, I think that's,
wait. Check this out. Check this out. He seems to like play this game of contradicting himself like a lot. Here's like him saying that we don't need regime change and it's not a goal, and then him saying that regime change is what we want and it's what we need 7 minutes apart in a statement.
Regime change was not our goal. We never said regime change, but regime change has occurred. But we also won regime change. We have a regime change like nobody thought was possible.
Wait! In that clip you just heard, wow, I wasn't even expecting it. I wasn't even expecting him to say that. I thought I was going to play a different clip. In that clip, wow, I mean, this is surprising to me even. In that clip, we just heard Donald Trump say that we actually got regime change like weeks ago. This was like literally his speech from 5 days ago. 5 days ago, he said that we've achieved regime change. I'll play that again. Immediately, I wasn't expecting this clip to play. I thought it was going to be another clip of Trump. I'm actually happy that I accidentally clicked on this.
Has occurred, but we also won regime change. We have a regime change like nobody thought was possible.
He said that regime change has occurred. We've won regime change.
Right. So what defines a regime change exactly? Like what does he define as a regime change? Because
who the fuck knows?
Because in my mind, probably what he's thinking is that since he took out the Ayatollah, that means regime change.
That's
Maybe
what
in
he's
his mind.
That's what he's saying.
In his mind, he probably thinks that, but that's
not
what it
But can we agree
is.
that he said that we've achieved regime change?
Yeah, well, he said that, but that's not what's happening.
I know, right? That's the issue, is that Donald Trump is lying about achieving regime change for an exit ramp from this war, which sets the stage for the IRGC continuing to hold control over Iran, and sets the stage for the IRGC now receiving more money because we're lifting sanctions with no promise of denuclearization agreement.
Right. Well, I just have a hard time believing that he would actually do something like that. He can't just walk away empty-handed like that.
But then he wouldn't say that we've already achieved our goals.
He also said that statement with the future.
I'm sorry. I'm actually ending that conversation there. I'm just like, I've gone over that with him for the last 30 minutes straight about like the whole idea where if he was going to walk away not empty-handed, then he wouldn't be arguing today that we've already achieved our goals, right? Because that's setting the stage for walking away empty-handed, because we've already gotten everything that we needed and walked away with it weeks ago. Hi, do you support Trump?
I do, yes.
How old are you?
18.
Are you a Christian?
No.
Okay, you just have a cross as your profile picture. Interesting. All right, I'm going to go
my favorite rap I make.
I'm going to go ahead and thank a couple people. Just sit tight with me here for a moment. Eliza, thank you so much for the $20 donation over on Venmo. Eliza, that is beyond kind of you. I want to see 200 Eliza W's down below. That is ELIZA. Eliza with the 20 says, can you please ask any one of these MAGA people why they're okay with Israel having nukes and not Iran when Netanyahu was quoted saying 9/11 was a good thing that happened? Can you send me that quote, Eliza? Thank you for the $20. Alexandria, thank you so much for the $20, who says, while I don't agree with all of your views, I appreciate you bringing truth and debate to our generation. Well, Alexandria, if you happen to be a Trump supporter, you should hop in that queue. And then Heather, thank you for the $6 and the 66 cents for the brainwash cult twos over on Venmo. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. On PayPal, Stefania, that is Stefania. Dude, this is crazy work. Thank you so much for the $50 donation on PayPal. Oh my God, that is a shit ton of money. That is still $50 goes a very long way where I live, Stefania. I'm so very grateful for you. Thank you so much for the $50 donation. I want to see 500 Stefania W's down below in that comment section. Thank you, Stefania. Stefania with a 50 says, thank you for trying with my husband. Oh, okay. This was you. You were my last hope. He really is a good guy. He doesn't understand. I don't want to lose him because of Trump. Oh, man. I feel for you. I feel really bad for you. I can see the position that you're in because I clearly talked to your husband. And I wish you the very best of luck. That's really sad. Please show some love to Stefania down below in that comment section. Man, that's really disheartening. Stefania, I hate to be that guy, but like, I talk to Trump supporters every day. And your husband, although he wasn't the yelly, the screamy, the abusive type, okay, to me while I was speaking to him, he's one of those people that are never going to change their minds. Never. But thank you for the $50. Lindsay, I appreciate you for the $10 as well. You says, love to your work, Dean. I watch daily. You are a light in this world, and today's my birthday. Well, happy birthday, Lindsay. Please show some love to Lindsay down below. Same thing to Emily, who says, I really believe you could change the mind of the mom on Necessary Conversation if you found your way onto an episode without the dad. Is that something that you'd be interested in arranging? I'd love that. I could try my best, but once again, some people just will never have their minds changed. And then Amy, I appreciate you for the $5 as well. And Super Chat, thank you so much, DM, for the $20, who says, just jumping in again, great work. The Trumpers don't know things. They don't know jack shit, my friend. Thank you for the $20, DM. Show some love to DM down below. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, DM. Show some love to DM. Very, very kind. If you want to support me and what we do here, you can find my Venmo, PayPal link in the bio on TikTok, pin message over on the elsewhere, as well as right there. Now, you could attach a message. I could read it out. And I really appreciate you guys so much for the love and support, because it allows us to continue doing what we do 4 hours a day, 7 days a week. Something else I quickly want to call out, guys, is we're going to be doing like 2 streams today, which I know is a little weird, but unfortunately it's going to be necessary. Here in 45 minutes, I have to show up to a dentist appointment to get a cavity filled. It's just kind of like right in the middle of the day. I didn't really want to start much earlier than I did. So I think once I get back from getting that cavity filled, we're just going to start the live and do like another hour and a half, 2 hours. But what I will say here is there's a possibility that I just won't go live again, even though I'm saying I might, because my mouth might just hurt too bad. But I need this fucking cavity filled, so we're going to get it filled no matter what. It's a deep cavity that I've had for a long time. Welcome in. Do you support Trump?
No, fuck Trump. I just want to say that you're entertaining as fuck.
Good. Well, I'm happy that you take something positive away from the streams. Let's go to get the next guest. Investing with Ryan. If this investor, okay, that seems to be like offering investing services because his name is Investing with Ryan, says that he supports Trump. Do not buy his investment services, ladies and gentlemen. Hi. Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Oh God.
I'm not offering anything. Promise.
How old are you?
19.
What year were you born in?
April 5th, 2007.
Why do you support Trump?
So the reason I support Trump is because I think that he's helping to lower crime and murder rates in the U.S.
I disagree.
Okay.
The reason why I disagree is because I think that, of course, we did see a dip in crime rates in America last year, 2025. But I think that that's just merely a continuation of the same trend that we saw set forth under the Biden-Harris administration in 2024 and 2023. In the same way that we saw like a reduction in violent crime of like 20% from 24 to 25, we also saw a reduction in like the murder rate at 15% from 2023 to 2024. Now, something else I'll say here is I think that we would see even lower violent crime rates in America today, given that Donald Trump was not destroying the economy, doing a mass deportation, causing a bunch of bankruptcies, terrible jobs report, because all those things ultimately result in more poverty, more unemployment, and poverty is a driving factor of crime. So I'd argue here that although crime rates are going down because they're following a trend, they would be going down more than they already are if Trump wasn't president because of the upward pressure he places on them.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting you to say that. Obviously, I wasn't expecting you to just like immediately agree with me. So I did. Are you aware, like with statistics? You probably went to college, so you probably know, like insignificance tests and stuff like that.
I mean, I took a poli-sci course that I didn't pay attention to because it was boring. So I mean, probably not super knowledgeable on like.
Well, because I was interested.
Statistics.
I was interested in like exactly like the question you posed about like, oh, is it just a continuation of the already existing downward trends, which I knew existed, but I was just wondering if maybe what Trump was doing, because obviously he put in place some like operations, like for example,
sorry guys, for those on YouTube, my bad. Go ahead.
For example, like Operation Legend, and then also like Operation Midway Blitz, but I'm not sure if you know what that is, but like. These are just operations that you would think would help to lower crime further. So then I did a significance test to see if like his policies were significant in lowering the murder rates, or if it was just, continuation of the already existing downward trends. And the p-value I got with that was 0.0472. So the conclusion you can make with that, basically, if you like are aware of statistics, is that you can say his policies were significant in lowering murder rates.
Which ones?
I just did a significance test of basically like it was kind of complicated to do because like it's kind of a complicated thing.
Yeah.
But
I would ask you to stop, speaking like an analyst. Okay.
Yeah, well, because that's what I'm trying to do here, and I don't know
there's a way to purport nearly any concept in a way in which could be understood by somebody who doesn't have a degree in that field. Okay, I mean, I feel like I do something pretty similar.
So, yeah.
I feel like that's kind of the goal of communication, is being able to effectively communicate like very nuanced concepts in a way.
Well,
in which
yeah, that's
the American could understand.
Basically the conclusion you can make with that. And like
without being an analyst, let's just answer the question here. What policies of Trump's has reduced crime rates? Be specific.
Well, the one that I have, I think maybe the one that I'll give is Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago. But again, I gave the p-value.
You're talking about mass deportations?
No, just the operation. Just the idea of like increased law enforcement. That's basically what I'm arguing for.
Okay.
Like the fact that there was
Operation
increased
Midway
law
Blitz,
enforcement
was that
would
ICE
help
agents or National Guard?
That was just well, there was a combination of the two, I think.
Okay. Well, we know that mass deportation is not going to reduce crime rates.
Yeah, that's not what I'm arguing.
We definitely know
I'm just
that.
arguing
Undocumented immigrants are less likely to commit violent crimes on American soil. You get them out of anything. We'd expect an increase in crime rates. Now, Operation Midway Blitz, I mean, do they still have National Guard on the ground? Oh, wait, no, they don't, because it was ruled on as a court as an illegal.
No, yeah, I have stats. So do you want
a deployment of the National Guard, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to like sum up your argument in a nutshell. It's that you support Donald Trump because for like maybe a month, you think that illegally deploying the National Guard in Chicago could have possibly maybe reduced crime rates a little bit, but then they went back up because he had to take the National Guard out of Chicago because the Supreme Court gave their opinion as that being in violation of the 10th Amendment. Correct?
No.
Then what's the argument? Because that's exactly what I heard. Once again, Operation Midway Blitz, ultimately deploying the National Guard to Chicago, is ruled as in violation of the 10th Amendment.
It's just the idea that he has been advocating for like more law enforcement in these crime-ridden cities, which also is Operation Legend. I'm not sure if you know what that is. It's a continuation from his first term, where basically that has nothing to do with ICE. It's basically just there's an increased law enforcement presence in certain like crime, just federal, local, state. That's all it says.
So they'd have to hire more. But I mean, we saw that he defunded local law enforcement agencies by like upwards of like $1.2 billion under the Big Beautiful Bill.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Yeah, under the Big Beautiful Bill, local law enforcement agencies across America lost like $1.2 billion in funding. So how are they simultaneously going to hire more people to patrol more places while losing funding from the federal government?
I mean, I don't know how. I just know that they did it because there are stats. It says that since the start of Operation Legend in many cities, homicides are down 16% in the city, shootings are down 35%, robberies 41%, carjackings 48%. So, and then again, I think when we
last year in 2024, once again, we saw a 15% reduction in murder nationwide. So, I mean, if we're just seeing like similar stats to what we saw in 2024,
that's why I gave you
in
the
2025. I don't really think that we could say in virtue of that fact that therefore this was caused by the policies if it's the same numbers that we saw prior to the policies.
You can because I did a significance test. So
okay, so explain what a significance test is to me, like I'm 5.
So a significance test is testing to see if Trump's policies, or you can test like if anything, for example, is significant in doing something. So I was testing if Trump policies were significant in actually lowering. How do you conduct it? Well, you have to get stats from before he was president, before he deployed like National Guard or law enforcement in certain cities, and then after, and then also compare that to other cities where he didn't deploy the National Guard or any like sort of law enforcement, and then after and stuff like that. So it was pretty complicated and like to do.
So,
but I would
so read me off your significance test.
What do you mean read me off? You get the p-value out of the significance test, and I already read that to you. It's 0.0472.
But I want you to read me the quote unquote math that you used to get there.
You want me to read you the math? It's on my
computer. I want you to show me the test. Okay, so then could you like screen share, just show me the test? I want to take a look at it all.
No, I mean I can't do that.
No, because if you were just to say look at the crime rates in like 2024 compared to the crime rates in 2025. That's not going to be sufficient information for a significance test.
It's very complex
because you would have to account for external variables, so on and so forth. And when you're saying you're continuing to repeat it, it's very complex. Yes, it would have to be very complex. It would have to account for like the trend that we saw not just in 2024, but also from 2023. It would have to account for a multiplicity of cities in metropolitan areas that experienced this trend from 2023 to 2024, but then experienced this trend into 2025 compared to those in which did experience the continuation of the trend with the deployment of the National Guard. Then you'd also have to account for the fact that a lot of crime rates go down during the winter. So if some of these operations were to start in the winter, well, then what kind of impact would the historical downward trends of crime in those areas have onto the crime rates that we'd see in like the fourth or third quarter of a year? And you're saying here that you've accounted for all this. It's very complex. So show me it, because I honestly think that you likely went to ChatGPT.
I can't show you because
I know, because I think that you likely went to ChatGPT.
No,
you said,
I didn't.
Can you please run a significance test for me, accounting for these variables to give me the result that I want? And then you just read off the p-value that was given to you by ChatGPT. Now, you can prove me wrong by accepting the invite that I just sent to you to turn your camera on, turning your camera on, pointing the camera to your computer, and then scrolling through the computer screen to show me it. Oh, so where's the computer?
At my house.
Okay, so where are you? Are you not at your house? Great, thank you so much.
No, in the library.
Okay, so did you do the significance test like on any type of let's see, or like cloud service like Google Docs?
It's
anything
like
you can access off of a library computer?
No, it's an extension through my home computer. I don't know how I'd access that the computer, but my point is, well, your question was how do you still support Trump? So then I answered that saying it helped lower crime rates.
So I'm just,
and then I gave you enough evidence. And
what I'm going to say is that you haven't given me enough evidence, because ultimately your argument accounts to a trust me, bro. We would have to see the methodology deployed inside of the significance test that you ran in order to determine that your conclusion is reliable. And because you cannot share the methodology inside of the significance test in which you ran, we cannot determine your conclusion as reasonable.
Okay, but let's say that it was reasonable. Like, let's say I'm not at my house right now, but if I were to be and I showed you this and you said, oh, this significance test is valid and this p-value is valid, which means that his policies actually did help and to lower the murder rates and since like he got in office, then would that be a viable reason to support Trump?
Well, I don't know. If my grandma had wheels instead of legs, would she be a wheelchair?
All right, come on.
the reason why I'm unwilling to assume that the conclusion of your test is reliable is because I will not assume that the conclusion of your test is reliable.
Things. Like you can't like.
I ultimately will not trust you on that. No.
You can't trust my p-value.
I cannot trust your p-value. Why? Because this is a debate. And when we're having a debate, if we want to like share significance tests to determine the reliability of a president's policy to determine like a reduction in crime rates, well, you'd have to share the methodology from said significance test.
I did share the methodology. You just want to actually see the test, which I don't have.
You did not share the methodology, or else we would be looking at the methodology through your phone right now.
I don't entirely like know how to recite it because it's very complex. So I just don't. I don't know.
You don't know. Wait, you don't know how to recite it because it's very complex. I think that you're just using that phrase "very complex" to like hide a prompt and output from ChatGPT.
That's not ChatGPT. You can't just say that when you don't want like to lose a point.
Okay, I'm gonna give you the counter argument.
That's not nice.
I'm gonna give you the counter argument. Are you ready?
Okay.
I did a significance test that was very complex, and it determined that his policy did not reduce crime rates in America.
So one of us is wrong.
Oh, so what do we do now? We share our what?
Well, now we just benefit of the doubt.
What do we do now? So when two studies conflict one another, what is the next step?
I mean, it's just the end of the road. I don't know.
It's not the end of the road. Absolutely not. No. Like for instance, Whitsitt is a flat earther that claims to have conducted studies to prove that the Earth is flat. Okay. Meanwhile, NASA scientists are globists who believe in a globe Earth that claim to have conducted studies to prove that the Earth is round. Can we agree that we now have access to two studies that conflict one another?
I mean, in theory, but like that's a different question because
so
obviously
is this
the
where
Earth
we
is round.
But if we were to just to accept what you're saying, well, because we have two studies that conflict one another, we're now left with the only conclusion that we can hold on to, which is we truly don't know what the shape of the Earth is. Okay, well, no, that's not the conclusion that we're left with at all. The next step would be to look at the methodology used by Whitsitt studies to prove that the Earth is flat and compare that to the methodology from the NASA scientist studies that prove that the Earth is round. And ultimately, we will determine that the methodology used by Whitsitt was flawed and the methodology used by the NASA scientists was not flawed. And that's exactly what I'm asking us to do right now, since I'm claiming to have a significance test which demonstrates a p-value indicative of Donald Trump's policy not having a downward pressure on crime rates. You're claiming the opposite. The next step would be to look at the methodology. But clearly, because you cannot share that methodology with us, you could just claim that you conducted the study that yielded this conclusion, that ultimately you are using complex words, sure, but it's no different than joining my live and saying, Donald Trump has reduced crime rates. What's your evidence? Trust me, bro.
Can you share your significance test first then, and then I'll share mine?
Okay. Well, I actually don't have a significance test. I was just demonstrating the counter argument insofar as how a elusive claim
then it doesn't
of
seem like
having
we're
a
at that
significance
scenario
test,
that you just
of having a significance test could be used to dispute your argument. And by the way, I have just as much evidence that I conducted a significance test as you do, which would be none.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, no, the reason I don't have my significance test is because I'm not in my house, because I wasn't prepared. But like the flat earth argument doesn't make sense because you can't visually see my significance test, but you can visually see that the earth is round. So I didn't understand that counterpoint. But.
Well, flat earthers claim you actually can't visually see that the earth is round and all the pictures from space are fake. But, that's besides the point.
It's a different argument.
Right. Because you cannot demonstrate and give me your significance test, I cannot believe it to be true.
Okay, but hypothetically, if you saw
hypothetically, I'm not willing to engage in a hypothetical.
What?
I'm not willing to answer your question. Would it be a good reason if it was true? No. You'd first have to prove that it is
true. If I join another day with my significance test up on the screen, then you will admit that that's a good reason to support Trump.
Well, I'm gonna look at your significance test. But ultimately, the conclusion that will likely be yielded is that your significance test is unreliable. But are you a Christian?
No.
Okay, do you know who Ron Wyatt is?
No.
Okay, Ron Wyatt is a quote-unquote scientist that claimed to have conducted studies on the Shroud of Turin and claimed to have found blood that lacked male chromosomes and male DNA and would only possess the chromosomes given by the female, which proves Jesus's divine conception. I'm not even joking. Go to Google, look up Ron Wyatt study on Jesus's blood to demonstrate
How
divine
would he have gotten
conception.
Jesus's blood?
Off of the Shroud of Turin.
Oh, so then that proves that. What does that prove?
Proves that Jesus was the Messiah, born through divine conception without male chromosomes because of divine conception.
Yeah, well, I don't support that, so I don't know what that is.
The only evidence that Ron Wyatt has given anybody is the claim that he's conducted this test, and that's the conclusion that he yielded. Should I believe Ron Wyatt?
No, but I mean, for the sake of our
Then why
debate
should
on
I
TikTok
believe
screen,
you?
then, well, because it's different. Because I mean,
What's the
I haven't been
difference?
confronted in real life. We're only on TikTok here, so maybe
Wait,
just
what's the difference? Because both you and Ron Wyatt are claiming to have conducted a study that yielded a conclusion, but you can't give any evidence of the conducted study. that
well, I
yielded
mean,
the conclusion.
for first of all, I don't think my conclusion is necessarily as like detrimental as his. I mean, I'm just concluding that maybe Trump's policies helped a little bit to lower the murder rates. He's concluding that I don't even know Jesus is the Messiah. That's a little bit different in significance, I think. So that's my counter argument to that.
I would argue that the reason why we shouldn't believe you or Ron Wyatt is because both you and Ron Wyatt can't prove that you conducted the study that reasonably yielded this conclusion.
I mean, in the end, there's some level of trust me, bro, to every debate. So I was just hoping
But not this level of trust.
I was just
bro.
hoping that you would.
Not this
you
level
just
of trust. Like not this.
accept
Like
this
no. Not this level. Like your level of trust me, bro, is saying this is true. Trust me, bro. Like
Well, yeah.
the low level of trust me, bro, that you're referring to that's going to be present in every debate would be like what? Axiomatic truths surrounding the foundation of the reality in which we live in, such as the self-evidency of the laws of logic, right?
Yeah.
Right. Not your top-level justification for the proposition that Donald Trump's policy has had a downward pressure on crime rates.
Yeah, I mean, you just, I guess, would have to see that I actually conducted the test, which I did, and I promise I did. It's not GPT like everyone's saying, but because I actually do study this, so, but yeah, I'm working on it, so I'll get back.
Okay.
I guess.
Sounds good.
And
You take
give
care,
you-
all right?
Yeah, have a good one.
All right. Let's go move on to the next guest. We probably have like one more debate that we could work in here before I got to go get my cavity filled. Got to go get my cavity filled. God damn. I hate going to the dentist and getting cavity filled. It's filled. Getting cavities filled. Yeah, that's proper grammar. But it needs to happen. It's a necessary evil. I need to get this cavity taken care of. Needs to happen, bro. You guys in the chat were saying that was Parker? No, that wasn't Parker. Hello, welcome in, Michael. Do you support Trump?
Did you just say you're scared of going to the dentist?
Oh, God? Yes?
Same, bro.
Fire. Glitter Queen Loretta, do you support Trump?
Oh my god. Hello?
Glitter Queen Loretta?
Excuse me? I identify.
I'm not going to do that today. No. No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't even want to know. I don't even know
Hello.
what the next words were. Do you support Trump?
I do not.
Based. We are just looking for Trump supporters that do. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. On the opposite side of the key of your MAGA, we got Alex connecting. Danielle! Thank you so much for the $25 donation on PayPal. I appreciate you. Show some love to Danielle down below in that comment section. Thank you so much, Danielle. Show some love to Danielle down below, folks. Show some love to Danielle down below. Danielle with the $25 says, I disagree. The mom on the necessary conversation is horribly racist, misogynistic, and delusional as the dad. Save your breath. I'm not familiar with him at all. I know that a lot of people follow the necessary conversation. Personally, I haven't. Only thing I know about them is that Parker went on. Thank you for the $25. Same thing to you, Daniel. Thank you for the $5 as well over on PayPal. I appreciate you, Daniel. Show some love to Daniel and Danielle. Thank you, guys. Do you support Trump?
I'm the guitar girl. Where's your hair?
My hair's on my head?
Why are you looky bald?
Band. Jared, hi, welcome in. Do you support Trump?
How's it going?
It's going all right, man. You support
yes, I
Trump?
do.
Oh, ew.
I know.
Ew.
It really is getting more gross and gross every time I turn around.
least you
It's
can
losing my
acknowledge it.
support.
What can I do to help
But-
push you over that line?
Honestly, I've watched you over the last couple of days and have been pushed over a little bit more and more.
Oh, good.
Kind of like requested, but I probably should be skipped because I have moved over that line as of the last couple of days since he is trying to commit genocide. So
Very fair. Very fair
It's,
thing to do. Very reasonable thing to do.
yeah. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and end this because I don't feel like this is necessary anymore. I requested not thinking that you would actually accept. So
No worries. You have a good rest of your day, okay?
You too.
Take care. Just gonna get that next guest loaded up into the box right now. By the way, very reasonable and fair reaction to the president threatening genocide. I just want to put that one out there. Very reasonable, very fair. All right. If you guys are watching and you want to support me, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in the bio to my TikTok account. It's also right there. That's what the Dean Withers is. Same thing with a pinned message over on YouTube. It's a great way to ask a question or get a message across. And I'm so grateful so much for the love today. You guys have been very, very kind. We actually might call the debate short here in 10 minutes. Maybe I'll try to get like one more person up in here for the time being. And then, like I said, today we're going to be doing 2 separate streams if I feel okay. Like, I'm going to go get that cavity filled. You know, they're going to numb my mouth. It's a pretty deep cavity. It might need a root canal. If it needs a root canal, no live today. Maybe even no live tomorrow. Hopefully it doesn't. But if it doesn't need a root canal and it's just a, filling, then I'll probably get home from the dentist. I'll be numb as shit for a little bit. And then, like, hop on, I don't know, closer to 4:30 Mountain, which is 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 PST.
Dean,
Maybe.
I'm drunk, but I love you.
Okay. All the love in the world to you as well. Take care. Let's go to get that next guest angel loaded up into the box. Hi, welcome into eSport Trump. Angel? Hello?
He doesn't want to do it anymore.
Oh, man. Unfortunate. Hey, thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat. Grace, who says, bring headphones to the dentist. Hope it doesn't suck. I appreciate you so much for the love, Grace. Bring headphones. I don't know. I kind of like talking. Well, I guess you can't talk when you have things in your mouth. I like listening to what they're saying and learning what it's like. Sarah, thank you for the $20 over on Super Chat as well, who says, I feel like Trump is involved with the Nancy Guthrie missing. What are your thoughts? He fits the bill perfectly. I mean, I don't think I'm as familiar as maybe you are with the facts about that case, but I would assume he isn't. I think that Trump is pretty terrible, but like that would just kind of be unbelievable. Sonny, thank you for the $10. She says, are you going to be watching the new episodes of The Boys tonight? I'm so excited. Yes, Sonny, I will. I've been so hyped about the release of season 5 of The Boys. I'm so fucking hyped. Anthony Starr, that's Homelander, he is actually libbed out. He hates Trump. He follows me on Instagram, and every so we'll chat just about how terrible the state of the world is. And, love that guy. He's super cool. But God, does he play an eerie on-screen character. I appreciate you for the $10 as well, he says. I don't know if you got my other 5, but what I said was, quote-unquote, can't wait for the one kid to grow up and see a video of his dad saying that his life is worth less than 10 mil and that he should be hit for money. Also, I'm getting a headache just listening to these people. I don't know how you do it. I remember that crazy, crazy man, C. I remember that crazy, crazy man. Valerie, I appreciate you for the $15. Who says premium cavity filling cash? Thank you, Valerie. Had 9 cavities when I was 19. I had to pay big money to get it right. Now I go to the dentist every 3 months to keep up. I actually like going now, lol. Yeah, see, I've really fallen behind with the dentist. That's terrible. 9 cavities is a lot. Thank you for the $15, Valerie. And then Sarah, thank you for the $17. Let's get 200 Sarah W's. Thank you so much, my friend. Sarah with the 17 says, I lost my pupper of 17 years yesterday, but your lives have helped me feel somewhat better. Best of luck at the dentist. Sarah, I'm so sorry to hear that. We had to put down the family dog. Let's see. 2 months ago. It was a really hard day. It was a really hard day, so I could just imagine what you're going through. It's very, very sad. That's very, very sad, Sarah. Welcome in. Yeesh. Just got to get that next guess. Well, do we have time? I guess we have a little. I think this is... Dude. Do you just... That guy will hop inside of the queue and come up here and like play video games. He does it like all day. All day long. All day. Hi, welcome into eSport Trump.
I do not. I used to.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that you don't anymore. That's awesome, my friend. Good for you, man. Good for you.
I don't know. I kind of like talking.
AJ, you got to find some new interests, my friend.
Brush your nasty ass teeth, bro.
You could actually get cavities from something other than not brushing your teeth.
But we all know it's
Fun
because you're a
facts.
nasty ass that doesn't brush his teeth.
Oh, so real, AJ. So real. So real. Yes, the reason why I have a cavity is because I'm a nasty ass that doesn't brush my teeth. Listen, I understand that you don't know this because you're an incel, but when you live with a woman and you're in a relationship with a woman, they don't really like kissing you a lot when you don't brush your teeth. Like I said, not really something you would know because you're an incel, but you know, not only do I brush my teeth because it's just general good practice and hygiene, 110%, but I kind of have to. You know, I have a beautiful girlfriend that I love to kiss. Let's go to get that next guest loaded up in here. Aubrey, hi, hello. Do you support Trump?
No, I just like you.
Appreciate you so much for the support, Aubrey. You take care. Like I said, you know nothing about that. You know, it wasn't even a consideration in his small little brain. Kissing a woman? Oh my God. You know, that's something he sees in the movies. It's on screen at the theaters, dude. It's on that incognito tab. It's not, you know, it's just, he's not so personally related to the experience of kissing anybody. Hi, welcome into eSport Trump. No, they're not even here. Guys, I think that we are just going to do a little bit of a Q&A until we hop off here in a couple minutes. If you want to ask a question, feel free to do so in the chat. If you want to have your question answered, I would recommend asking it on Venmo or PayPal. I'm not saying that you have to, but just saying that there's clearly going to be many more questions in the chat than on Venmo and PayPal. So definitely have a higher likelihood of me seeing it and answering it. But anyways, folks, how we doing? Someone in the chat says, when's my birthday? Oh, September 1st. September 1st. What a great birthday. What a great birthday. Dean, do you like somber? I'm not going to comment because I'm going to get canceled. I can't deal with all like the somber fans. No, thank you. No, thank you. Did I see the 14-year-old running for governor? I did. Fun fact. I did. His name is Dean. I saw the clip posted by CNN about this 14-year-old named Dean running for governor in some state. And then I responded by saying, get it, Lil Dean. Because that's his name. But then, like, 3 trillion people responded. Like, calling me, like, a cocky, egotistical, like, shitter. Because they thought that I was just referring to him as a little me. Because my name's Dean. So then I deleted the comment. Because it seems like maybe not a lot of people knew that his name was Dean. And I could see how that'd make me look bad. I did see that. Somebody else in the chat says, can we see Momo? Well, she was in here earlier. Don't know where she's at now. She's probably downstairs sleeping, low-key. Dean, do I like David Bowie? We love David Bowie in this household. We have a framed poster of David Bowie's from the 80s hanging on her wall downstairs. My girlfriend loves David Bowie so very much. Big David Bowie fans. Big David Bowie fans. The Labyrinth, peak. Super peak. What do you know? What do you know about that? That's some ball knowledge right there. The Labyrinth. That's some fucking ball knowledge. Did you listen to DJO? Yeah, he's great. He's another big lib. Alexis, thank you for the 15 bucks on Venmo. Says, Dean, how do we keep hope? We have 2 to 3 more years of this. I feel hopeless. Well, I mean, I think now's a good time to, draw on some hope and turn it into material action of voting for people who want to hold Trump accountable in the midterms. We need to get the establishment Dems and the old heads out of Congress, even if they're on the left. And we need to get people in who are willing to actually do something about the administration. Payne, thank you for the $10, who says, first thing, ask your doctor for a prescription to Montulucast. I'm also allergic to kitties and it's a game changer. Oh, really? Okay, I'm going to screenshot that then. That's awesome, Payne. Thank you. Jaden, thank you for the $5. He says he watched The Boys. Yup. Riley, thank you for the $1. He said, what made you start doing debates? Honestly, just like a love for philosophy, which then led into this natural affinity that I grew for debates because I was able to debate the things that I studied in school. Rachel, thank you for the $5. She says, how did Momo get her name? From Momo and the Avatar. Hope with the $5 who says, what do you think about Erica Kirk? She's just dude, she's weird, man. She's really weird. Erica Kirk is weird as fuck. Really weird. Oh, let me check that pan. Second thing, the Strait of Hormuz. You mean the... Yeah, I'm not going to read that. Amanda, thank you for the $10. She says, from Little Einstein, can we get some Momo facts? And also, your memory's amazing. Do you have hyperlexia like Little Einstein? Oh, dude. That's, first and foremost, that's so cool that you watch the streams. I mean, I'm not, I don't have a diagnosis of hyperlexia or any associated conditions. Shout out to Little Einstein, dude. He's so smart. Could you get some Momo facts? Well, I mean, my favorite fact about Momo is just the very simple fact that she's the cutest kitty in the world. And that she is so spoiled. She's so spoiled. She's such a spoiled kitty. But we love her, so we will absolutely continue to spoil her. Michelle with $5 says, lots on Lily Tino. Michelle, I just recommend going to YouTube, typing in Dean Withers Lily Tino debate, and watching it. That's the best place to get my thoughts on Lily Tino. Amy with a 5 who says, do you think Trump can interfere with midterm elections? By the way, love you. Oh, thank you, Amy. I think that he has tried with the SAVE Act, with telling the New York Times he regrets not having the National Guard take the voting machines during the 2020 election, so on and so forth. I mean, come on. What are we doing? He might try something even worse. That is something that scares me. Nerd of the Games, thank you for the $20 on Super Chat, who says, you should watch Project Hail Mary. It really is good. I've heard raving reviews about Project Hail Mary. Fun fact, me and my girlfriend are actually going to go watch it tonight. So if I do come back for a second stream, once that is over, we're going to go watch Project Hail Mary. Honestly, can't wait. I've heard raving reviews. I've even heard some people that it is as good or even better than Interstellar. That's hard to believe because Interstellar is by far one of the best movies ever made. But I've heard that it's really good. Kayla, thank you for the $20. She says, for some reason, I see posts every day about Trump going to the hospital. I'm wondering how you think that this is situation with Iran will play out if Trump isn't in the picture. I think, well, if Trump isn't in the picture, I think it'll just come to an end. Because we did hear from the New York Times today that nobody has fought harder to end the war in Iran than J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is terrible. I think this is one of those situations of a broken clock being right twice a day. I think we'd actually see better outcomes in reference to the war in Iran if J.D. Vance were president. But that doesn't mean he'd be a good president. He'd also be terrible within many other senses. Christy, thank you for the $25, who says, would love your opinion. Who do you think is, do you think that JD is more dangerous than Trump? No, I don't. If the reason why JD Vance is president is because we impeached Trump. JD Vance is a follower. He is a little lapdog. A little lapdog. He went from saying that Donald Trump is America's Hitler to having an opportunity to grow his own control, power, and work his way up that political ladder. Donald Trump's vice president. And now he's Donald Trump's best friend, right? He changes his opinion, not based upon his convictions, but based upon what will get him further. So if we were to throw Trump out of office, JD Vance would still be a lapdog and a follower, just not of Trump, but now of Congress. And he's essentially going to be willing to do whatever he can to please Congress so they don't throw him out too. You know? And I think that's a really good evaluation on why I don't think he's as harmful as Trump. My stepdad is the Inspector General of the DOJ. Do you ever want to talk? I remember you sharing that with me before, C. I would love to talk to the Inspector General of the DOJ. I would imagine that would be a hard sell, though. I would definitely imagine that would be a very, very hard sale. Who else? Jessica, thank you for the $5. Thank you. And I think with that, we're all caught up. Folks, it is 1:53. I need to end and go run out my door and hop in my car so I can hit this appointment. I love and appreciate every single one of you guys. Be on the lookout for a second live from me later today, because I might be live again. No promises, because like I said, if I need to get a root canal, no live for like a couple days, realistically. If I just need to get the cavity filled, I'll probably want to just hang out for a couple hours so my mouth could become unnumb. And then if I'm feeling all right, I might hop back on. But you might see me. You might see me again later tonight. I hope that you do, because I would love to continue this stream. We've only been live for 2.5 hours. So hopefully I'll see you guys later today. Peace and love, and goodbye.